Check. Boosters. Check. Hydraulics. Check. Navigation. Check. Power. Check. Communications.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Check. This is Mission Control. Welcome aboard the Team Friend Voyager. We hope you enjoy your journey. The spacecraft will now undergo evaluation prior to departure. Initiating systems check. Boosters. Check. Hydraulics. Check. Navigation. Check. Power. Check. Communications.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Check. Laser defense. Check. Warp speed. Check. Checklist is now complete. All systems go. Prepare for departure. Destination. Coachella. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Mission Control. Welcome aboard the Team Friend Voyager. We hope you enjoy your journey. The spacecraft will now undergo evaluation prior to departure. Initiating systems check. Boosters. Check. Hydraulics. Check. Navigation. Check. Power. Check. Communications.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Check. Laser defense. Check. Warp speed. Check. Checklist is now complete. All systems go. Prepare for departure. Destination. Coachella. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Coachella, how we feeling, baby? We're two friends, so stoked to be with y'all tonight. Y'all ready to do a big with us? Make some noise! Coachella, I need all y'all in this one right here. Coachella, put them hands up, put them up, put them up. Show me what we got, baby. Right now.
Warp speed.
Coachella, I need y'all to touch the sky with us right here. Get up, baby. Coachella Yellow, unbelievable!
How are they going to manage enforced royalties? A lot of speculation across the board on this. Of course, Bored Apes get blinded by the light at the event. A lot of conversation around cleaning UV lights and their negative effect. On top of this, I know this just happened last night. We had Simpsons have an entire NFT episode. And sure enough, somebody was ready to rock and roll with Simpson Punks, minted for free, a 3,405 supply before Giga sending to 0.45 ETH. God damn. Absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. I love that NB did not mint them. Instead, he took one from the episode and made it his PFP. Talk about just fumbling generational wealth. So kudos to him. Obviously, post-AFest, post-Breakpoint. What's next in line? Where are we going from here? What's going down? All the good stuff. We got Meme Coin going live. We got a lot to discuss. So let's just get right into it. Shout out to the title sponsor of all the content, HelloMoon.io. They sponsored everything at Breakpoint. They were literally everywhere. You couldn't go to a single event without seeing them somewhere. It was impressive, to say the least. They were all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. So kudos to them and shout out to them sponsoring all the content. Giving you analytics, giving you data, helping you navigate the entirety of the Solana space, all completely for free. As we take a look, we're at 738,000 United States dollars on the 24-hour Solana volume charts. Magic Eden at 40%, Tensor at 35%. Damn, interesting. Hyperspace at 10%, Solanard at 8%, Hades Swap at 4.82%. Buyers down to 2.7K. My lord. Sellers at 4.7K. It is ugly out there. Top collection-wise, it is not terrible. Not terrible, shockingly. A little bit of a mix of red and green across the board. Mad Lads at 55, Heist at 7.3, OK Bears at 20, Photo Finish at 19, Tensorians back above 10, Reavers at 3.19, Klanos at 26. Klanos announced their plushies. Had some issues with the plushie release on Friday, but, you know, everyone's still anxiously waiting for them. Pioneer Legends minted last week, sitting over 10. Namaste at 7, Stone Ape Crew at 10.84, and Banks at 8.78. As we look at the trending collections on the OpenSea, Simps Punks, another derivative, at under 0.01. Springfield Punks, which was the one that was the free mint last night, hitting a high of 0.45, currently sitting at 0.26. The Chimpsons at 0.02. Block Games Dice at 0.17. Baltazar Raw Passes at 0.14. Cool Cats at 0.75. And Anomaly AI by Star Eam at 0.03. Top collections, Apes at 28, Mutant Apes at 5.3, Captains at 4.1, Pudgies at 4.8, Real MVP at 100 ETH. That's up 100%, my God. Mochaverse 1.35, Milady's 2.82, D-Gods down to 3.18, Grapes all the way up to 1.33, Winds of Yamawama under 7, Little Pudgies 0.36, CryptoPunks 48, Cryptodes almost back above an ETH with a 52% rise on the week. So let's dive into it. Bunny, Frisk, Manny, how we living?
I think I have a Chimpson still.
Really?
I minted that. Yeah, I like know the guy who dropped it. I minted it. I think I missed the top on that. It went back in the day.
What was the top?
It went to like 0.06 maybe. I don't know. Nothing crazy. It was a cheap thing.
A cheap thing. How else have you
But
been?
dude, we're so back. If Springfield Punks ran yesterday to 0.38, right? Like, and then you had, what was the other one? Simps Punks. You had like other ones pop up. Like, the only time you get derivatives of derivatives is the bull market.
Yeah. Yeah, derivatives of derivatives of derivatives.
Yeah.
So is it the bull market?
Maybe, dude. Maybe.
Do you feel like it's the bull market?
Yes.
Wow.
I do.
With conviction, yes.
Yep.
Okay.
We're back.
They're solidifying we are back.
Dude, we're on The Simpsons. Like, I mean, Pac is back.
You were the employee on the train, Bunny.
You were the employee on the train. Wow, I did not even put that together.
I didn't watch the episode, so I don't even know
Well,
what
so
you're talking
all the
about.
workers were bored apes.
That's awesome that board apes were in the episode. That's so cool.
They had the lowest floor price.
Did they?
Yeah, I'm one out of the eye patch from.
They didn't
the
have a
lights.
floor price. Easy.
Exactly. Frisk, how you doing?
Okay.
Okay. Good morning, guys. Good to be back. I'm actually awake today because I'm still jet lagged. So you guys get awake frisks this morning. It's been a week, man. Breakpoint was a ton of fun. I'm not gonna go on tangents about it. We've talked about it enough, but lots of great things coming out of that. The only thing I think we haven't spoken about yet is kind of like the Jupiter token. There's still not many outlines around what it's going to take for us to actually get it, but it seems like there's going to be some sort of requirements that you had to meet. I'm hearing it may be volume based, which it's expected. You know, that's kind of what you would expect from this kind of thing, but time will tell. We'll see. Boyd Apes getting blinded was not on my bingo card this year. Like, not at all. Especially not from like stage lights, if anything. That's insane. That is actually wild as hell. I don't know what that looks like in regards to like liability or anything like that, but holy fuck, I would have been furious. There was a lot of tweets, people being like mad about Yuga. For what it's worth, I'm really happy about that partnership between them and Magic Eden. I think that's actually an absolute W. But like, you know, between the insanely like long merch line that I saw, between the social lead getting fired for the racist tweets, like that's quite a few L's on Yuga's end, which sucks because I don't like preying on Yuga's downfall. I like them a lot, but that's really rough. I'm sure they'll bounce back. I'm not worried, but damn, wrong week to have that happen because they had some really cool announcements and A-Fest actually looked like fun. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it looked dope. Fly to Hong Kong for it? I don't know, but it looked like it was fun still. Simpsons is funny. I cannot believe these things actually ran to 0.45. Bunny's actually right. When you see derivatives of derivatives, that is a sign of like people really wanting to jump in and throw money at shit. So I get it. I 100% get it. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it a bull market, but that's a bullish sign.
That's a fair take, but Frisk.
I made a Stars Arena account following their acquisition.
No shot, bro. Stop pumping that shit. We already have a friend spec. Stop.
I was pretty hesitant to when I saw like all these derivatives of SocialFi platforms. I'm not big on SocialFi, to be honest. It's not really my thing that I care for too much. I much prefer like the gaming side of crypto. That being said, knowing the Rove team helped a lot with my decision, and realizing that it's more than just a group chat, I was really intrigued by it.
Yeah, but we already have a friend stack. Why not just focus? Why not the whole space focus on friend stack? You know,
for people who are participating.
Like
I love
we all
you can
go
follow
balls to the
people
wall,
without having to
neck
invest money
deep
into,
on one app.
What it is that like
I don't know my
they're
take.
doing to see their stuff. I think this is really cool. There's definitely friction, and you can tell that it's early. But I'm really intrigued by the platform. I like it a ton more than FriendTech. Besides the mobile version is not it. But you know, this is one of those times where I think you can genuinely say that you're early. That's what I would say. I like it a lot, and I like AVAX too. I think AVAX is pumping right now. Actually,
I guess it's a different chain.
That's a W.
One's built on base and one's on AVAX.
There's
Different
tons of
fucking
things that
chain
happened, but those
maxis.
are,
I
like,
get it now.
the big
Okay.
things that happened on my radar over the past, let's say, weekend.
I mean, I think you just hit the nail on the head with everything. But Bunny's hands up. Bunny, what do you want?
Dude, the best part of the Stars Arena thing was that Kook front ran the acquisition by buying a bunch of the new guys' keys. Dude, he tried to make him out to be like the fucking hero of this whole thing. That completely backfired on him.
Well, yeah, I mean, you saw the messages come out.
Yeah, they
some
weren't
strong
good. They weren't. He used the word rug. He said like he would just keep saying we're gonna rug. I'm like,
Bunny, no, that's not what he said. Hold on.
I'm paraphrasing.
And Bunny, just give the TLDR on what's happening with this, because I've caught like just bring us up to speed on a little concise summary, please.
Dude, I don't even.
He doesn't know.
Where do we start?
TLDR on that.
No, this chill
Bunny
pill
doesn't
guy
even
who
fucking
obviously
know
doesn't even
Lucky.
understand how his own platform works, because he was tweeting something out that basically was like, I think the new Rove team is stealing from me, but he just didn't know that referrals actually work now. So that guy took an L on that. And then he tweeted out some DM'd from what do you call the team or whatever, but it was like the day after the token got rugged or whatever, or it got exploited, rugged, whatever you want to call it. And basically, Kook is saying in the thing they don't know who rugged it yet or whatever, and he's saying, hey, if it is a rug, we should do X, Y, and Z. He didn't know what it was, but he's trying to play it off like Kook was saying, oh, it's a rug, but I don't know. That whole like release of this is why I don't like releases of DMs, because there's no context in it. It's just a snippet. And,
No, I agree with that too.
Take it,
It's just weird for a team member to just like use the word rug over and over again, right?
I mean, what do you call it? They're trying to deal with a rug. Like, he's an advisor to it. So I'm not saying everybody's a saint or whatever. I just think that guy's trying to, mischaracterize it. And he doesn't even know how his own platform works. So who's the rugger there?
Yeah.
All of us, for all the ruggers.
Yeah, I think the TLDR in short is Stars Arena launched. Stars Arena went up. Stars Arena got exploited. Exploit looks like it may have been an inside
brutal.
job.
That
may
exploit.
not have been. No one's really sure. Old Stars Arena team gets told to kick rocks and leave. AVAX backs it heavily. AVAX brings in new team. Rove World from Solana's new team.
Easy tweets. I run AVAX nodes.
Yeah, Easy comes back to tweet, I run AVAX nodes.
Yo, that was funny ass tweet. Can you even run AVAX nodes? Anybody knows in the chat?
NB, what do you want?
Yo, Easy, if you're watching, can you run AVAX nodes?
So much art. Art was the highlight of the Simpsons episode last night. It was in the highest, most prestigious part of the block train. Just saying, they know. Also, we saw a couple people on that show. X-Copy, Beeple, Dimitri Cherniak, Neon Cat, who else? Pack, and then some kind of chicken thing. I wasn't sure what the chicken thing was. And then on top of that, we also have a ton of X-Copy sales over the weekend. Echoes of Alhambra had a couple sales. Orcon announced his next mint on the 11th. It's a little high mint price. It's like point something. But you get 3 NFTs, a 1 of 200, a 1 of 100, a 1 of 11, and a 1 of 1. So I kind of like that. I think that's a fun way to do a mint. So it's like you mint it, and then over the course of the reveal, I guess you get the different stages or something like that. I still have to dive in. But a lot artists are, diving full force into the chain, getting really creative. Except for the Simpsons derivatives. Don't buy those.
But your PFP is a
What is he
derivative.
talking about?
Nah, I just screenshotted the episode and claimed it as my own, and then woke up and found out that I've been ghost supporting this collection, and people are like, "Damn, NB likes the art. We should probably get it." And
No
run
one
it to
said
point
No
two.
one's absolutely
I mean,
no
it's
one
at
said
point
that. I
two,
can
and
back
it's a
that.
derivative. I would
But
have
NB,
to
no
think
one
I'm
said
involved.
no one said that.
I would say I'm probably involved. I mean, I did make.
So
the
you're on the
PFP
team.
early. I didn't get any cuts. That's how it works in Web3 for NB. No one pays me.
Well, Pac was in the episode, so there has to be some involvement.
Bro,
That's what I
Pac is
heard.
confused as fuck. He's the only one who had an alteration to his piece, and he does cubes, and they made him a triangle. So his tweets are all like, "Am I a triangle artist now? Well, what does this mean? Are we doing triangles?" He's really going through a moment.
Drop a triangle project now.
100%. 100%. Dude extracted what, $100 million during the bull, and he just so happens to pop back up as things heat up. Call me crazy.
Yeah,
but he
Garga
may as well just be on the Simpsons team.
Would you mint his next project though?
Probably not.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I would max mint it.
Dude, I lost a lot of money on Pac.
Okay, well I can see how that changes your opinion.
Look at us, man. That's how you know we're back. We're just getting along up here.
Yeah.
We're just getting along. Dude, are you excited for Fade or Follow later? The Jets are playing, dude.
The Jets are playing today. Yo, chat, who do you got?
Under, and then Zach Wilson's under in yards, probably.
I should hammer the Zach Wilson interceptions over personally. But that's for later. We'll get to that later. We still have a lot to cover, dude. There's been a lot of news. It feels good. These conferences, man, were just, I think, both home runs. One conference you left blinded. The other you left euphoric. And honestly, that's a win in both sides. One you make it
by the lights.
What the fuck was that?
It's a good song.
Easy, I'm still confused on all this. Can anybody, like, break it down for me, you think?
Time to go to the On the Street Reporter. God, have I missed it. I missed it so much. I hope my friend is doing well. And I hope he hasn't been on the streets too long. But we got the B breakdown.
Oh, my God. It's so nice to have that music back. Let's get right into it on Monday, November 6th. Good morning. Good morning. The Crypto Greed and Fear Index is up 4 degrees. We were up 2 degrees yesterday. We are sitting pretty in greed at 74. NFT sentiment remains cool at 25 degrees. Top crypto search term is immutable, ticker IMX. Top search term for NFTs is OpenSea. Bitcoin dominance is down just a touch, right around.
They fucking deploy a bunch of bots to search the web. I guarantee you.
Stories to watch. There's a guy by the name of Steven Mayeroff.
There's
he
no
has
other way.
started some posts about the Ethereum Foundation. He's trying to muddy the waters. It's interesting. Just something to watch. It's interesting to see if it comes to anything. We have Wob.eth from Sappy Seals. He has been rocking a Sproto Gremlin. I wonder what the story is behind that. Fortnite's Chapter 4 has released, and it brings back the OG nostalgia vibes. People are dropping in Twin Towers, and you have to love it. Grok is available on X. It is their new version of AI. Do you have access to it? Jake Fried is my pick for the mint of the day. I like his work. He's got a 100-piece collection. It goes for 1 ETH a piece. It is coming off of Transient Labs. Watch for that to kind of take off, I think. November meme coins I'm watching. Pepe, Floki, and something called Nugget Rush that's getting a bunch of traction. We have Pantera Capital founder. He's just a bigwig in the stock market. He is predicting a 23% correction in the S&P 500. He is actually telling his clients to go fucking buy crypto. And FTX transferred about $30 million Solana to Binance and Kraken. That's why we're seeing a bump in the price on Solana. An ape doodle just sold for 21.9 ETH. And there are some big things happening in Capitol Hill this week. We've got the Fed Chair Powell speaking twice. The big speech will be on Thursday, and we have the consumer sentiment data on Friday and initial jobs claims on Thursday. We have a short trading week on the stock market, so we are going to see some volatility. But Bitcoin is pumping, and we love it. And it's good to be back on Monday. I hope everybody has a magical week. Keep those adventure pants on, and I'm sending it back to you, Easy.
Dude, that was the best breakdown we've ever gotten. Ever. Just because it feels so good to be back. It feels so good to be back. Buddy, wouldn't you agree that was the best breakdown we've ever gotten? Ever? Exactly. Tig, what's going on?
GM, I honestly forgot what my hand was up, but I was reading somewhere that the Bored Apes Ape Fest was the whole point of blinding people was to give utility to the kennel dogs, so they have guide dogs moving forward. I don't know how true that is, but I think they might be onto something.
I like that.
The kennels finally have a purpose.
Also, we're so back because people are speculating on tokens now. I love how they found the pixel token for the Sappy Seals, and now like DJs were fucking buying it up. We're so back.
Dude, they Giga sent it. Why?
Because we're back.
Dude, I still have a bunch of that pixel shit in a random ETH wallet.
You might have a couple dollars.
Fuck yeah.
You may have made a couple bucks. I mean, dude, everyone's speculating on gaming tokens right now. Like Mataria, Raw. What else we got here? Grapes, obviously. Like basically anything that has a token that could potentially drop, people have just started aping. Even Mochaverse got legs just because Animoca's back to everything.
There's someone posted a screenshot of some type of slide or something that was presented, and Mochaverse showed the Mocha token like being teased. So that was like a lot of people were speculating. Even old school stuff like Vulcan Forge. You remember that, Easy?
Yes.
Yeah, so their PYR token, even that's been up like 40% over the weekend. So you're seeing like all these older projects that have been around since back in the day, since 2021. You're seeing people speculating because the meta, now anything with a token now is running. A lot of these NFT projects, like the war passes and all these different projects that have token speculations, are all being pumped now.
Yo, and Easy, think of this, like, okay, listen, and Bunny, you're gonna love this shit. Like these gaming tokens, imagine when these kids are buying tokens and not V-Bucks. And the kid comes back to the parents and says, no, I don't need money, Mom. Do you need money? Because I turn those tokens into, like that is coming. So that is going to be magical when that happens. These Fortnite V-Bucks, like, come on, like this is a step in the right direction.
I think in the US you have to be don't you have to be 18 to
My
buy
son will
crypto?
never make $1 on that because he spends them as soon as he gets them, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. All right.
Did you guys know Fortnite had trading cards? I saw this dude open this card and it's worth like 34K. I was like, who the fuck is buying Fortnite trading cards? But apparently that's a thing.
Listen, dude, you're shocked at that. A Simpsons derivative launched during the show and is now $800.
Aren't we like proving all of them making fun of us right though by launching like fucking 3 derivatives and sending them the 0.4 ETH? Like, come on, guys.
Well,
Bro, they said the NFT episode's over at the end. I mean, the NFT craze is over, so I don't know why people are bullish.
Isn't it pretty wild how accurate they got the culture of NFTs though? Like you could tell they were working with somebody that was definitely
they did
in
their
the
research.
space.
They did their research.
They definitely had someone like an advisor. It was definitely one of us out here DJing on dumb shit because they had like a lot of stuff.
Does Gene still work with Simpsons?
No.
Say what?
No.
They had Top Shots in the back of the block train.
I like that they called it a block train and made Bunny drive it. Like that was the highlight of the whole thing for me. The whole thing. The entirety. Fresk, what's going on?
Shit, there we go. Easy. Were there any projects that like stood out to your breakpoint in particular? I feel like I know what your answer is, but I want to hear it from your words.
Raposa, like hands down. That one stood out like miles ahead of basically everyone. Just because of the presence that they had. One second. I'm a little sick. So I will say that one was like by far the one for me, Raposa Coffee. It's an actual business. They had a stand, and last year, if you remember at Breakpoint, getting coffee wasn't easy. Like that was my one like qualm with the whole thing was like getting coffee was kind of a headache. And VCon had that issue too. But Raposa just bodied it this year. They had cans. You could buy it. You could put an NFT on it, a picture of anything, basically. Like when Kemosabe busted his face open, immediately you saw it on a coffee. It was a great social media hack, and they were all over the timeline for multiple days. You couldn't scroll the timeline without it, and that's like a compounding effect. I thought that was extremely well done. Obviously, Boogle, just because Ceylon let me press a button during the set and my life was complete in that moment. But they threw the best parties, bro. Like, they just constantly threw down and knew what they were doing. But that's not surprising. I got to say, Stoned Ape Crew really showed out as well. They had a lot of good marketing presence. Honestly, dude, even like the merch section, you went through and you just saw so many people with some dope stuff. Bad Environment Club was awesome. I love their team, so I guess I'm biased. But their team is just hyper friendly, really engaging, and like that type of stuff is the stuff I really enjoy. All in all, man, I think this Breakpoint blew last year's Breakpoint out of the water, despite the conference venue being far from Center City, which caught me off guard because they put all the recommended hotels like 30 minutes away from the venue, which maybe it was coordinated so that they could get you to go to the conference and not leave, versus last year where it was like 3 different venues and the hotels were in between, so a lot of people came and went throughout the day. And this time it was kind of far. You were there and you were just there all day, but the whole campus was all the stages, which was a nice touch. And the food was good. So yeah, I would say Raposa, Bad Environment Club, obviously Boogle, Stone Dave Crew, all up there. The heist was just handing out packs of money, which was awesome. So yeah, you can't complain. When you go to these conferences, you end up just leaving with money and a whole suitcase worth of merch.
Did you get a fluff hat?
I did. I had to. I got to support my guy Lou, despite Lou literally being a liability the entire week. Like that man is a walking
damn time,
dude.
Also, Easy, you stole packs. You didn't just give them handed out. You stole them literally out of my fucking bag.
That was only 2. All the other 8 were just also
I hate
stolen.
you so much. I love you, but I hate you so much. I meant it when I said you're the worst influencer.
Yes, absolutely valid. But dude, Lou was a liability. I told the guy, dude, you gotta stop. At one point, like I was like half laughing, but I was like, dude, take a step back, please.
Dude, he won't. He just won't, though. You guys, God love Lou, but man, he finds his way into trouble like through the
trouble
wildest
finds him. Trouble finds him.
Don't even start with the Boogle party and what happened there.
He's so funny.
Oh, I don't want to hear it from you guys. I was the one who had to deal with his bozo ass. Literally take him outside and be like, stop arguing with a bouncer when you're drunk. Whatever. I'm done.
All in all, Frisk, who do you think won from the project side? Like, who do you think really made an impact?
Yeah, I think there's one obvious answer. I think it's Raposa. I think that that's I think there's a ton of people who are in the running for that, but dude, Raposa was everywhere. They were literally making money at the event. I literally got my fucking NFT printed into a cup of hot chocolate. Okay, and because I told Sock, I was like, dude, I don't drink coffee. Like, I want to support you guys so bad. He's like, I was like, if you had hot chocolate, I'd be down. He was like, oh, we do. I was like, you fucking what? And so we went. So I went to the little pop-up stand, and not only did I get hot chocolate, which was amazing, by the way, they printed it on the cups. Like, it's the little things like that. It's not crazy expensive. They were at every event. I think that a lot of projects spend money to go to these things. Imagine as a holder being back at home knowing that your team is going and making money at these events. Like, that's a genuine business, especially with a ton of marketing. And all of this right after an Amazon announcement. I'm really impressed with them. I think they killed it, and I honestly feel underexposed.
What about the Bodagos?
Oh, 100%. Easy won't chill it. I will. I love Bodaga's event was one of my favorites. I love being able to chill with my friends, just at a little thing that and talk with and being able to open cards with some incredible merch, which I didn't get, by the way, and I'm so fucking mad about it. But I ended up pulling a PSA 9 Charizard. Easy and Pio were handing out card packs for everyone. It was great. They had some incredible sponsors showing off some really cool stuff. I love those super chill events that a lot of us get to do. It sucks with the Uber situation that was going on over there. Holy fuck, the amount of money I had to spend to go from event to event. But other than
they had
that,
a hurricane going on. It was Amsterdam's first hurricane in 10 years or some shit.
Is that what it was?
I was
You could have got a bicycle. Why didn't you rent a bicycle?
You cannot rent a bicycle in a hurricane.
It was pouring rain. 200 kilometer-an-hour winds, mile an hour. 200 kilometer-an-hour winds. It was bad. My mom sent me an article and was like, dude, 16 people have died. I was like, what?
That's wild. That's so crazy. We survived.
It was sprinkling, guys. Come on, let's not make it a hurricane.
No, dude.
Seriously, Easy, you're from Florida. That's like your A1.
It's a monsoon. It's different.
It was even worse because it was cold. All right, at least I want to be warm if I'm gonna get blown away by a fucking hurricane. All right, I don't want to be freezing. That's just miserable.
I will say though, Amsterdam is a pretty city. That place is dope. It looks cool. There's not skyscrapers everywhere.
Food sucked though.
Food was bland as hell.
Food
dude.
I bet you Witters has a different take on that.
Yeah, let's go to Witters.
Actually, I did eat the best food that let's not say best, but at Nila's in Amsterdam, but not why I raised my hand. It was very confusing with the Bored Ape thing, because initially I just thought that everybody got pink eye, which kind of makes sense with Dookie Dash and all that shenanigans. But the real reason that I raised my hand, did you see there is it's a fake ledger live app on
I did see that.
On Microsoft. It's the Microsoft App Store, and so far over 17 Bitcoin have been stolen. So just be super careful because it looks legit. There's reviews, I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that going into the week.
Well, thank you for the safety call there. Witters, do you have any shitters?
No.
Okay, we'll circle back later. We got a couple hours for you to get a couple. Manny, what's going on? Let's hit Shrimp then Tig.
Dude, he's real. It turns out that Smurfcat has had plushies inside of Walmart before Pudgy Penguins did, dude. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock first, and then B, I can't believe the Russians worked that quick. But yeah, I think we're gonna get a pretty decent pump here on Ethereum to 2100. My biggest concern is generally we'll get one last shakeout right before the full bull. So definitely don't be afraid to I don't know, take some off the table once we start getting to this, because there's always that last rinse out, and then it's full port, all in, full bull. So I think we're getting really close to the bull, and I'm starting to get really excited. Outside of that, Ocean is looking pretty decent. It's a coin you can get on Coinbase, and then dude, Stars Arena, bro. Just all you have to do, go to Stars, buy Jason's key, wait 3 weeks, and then dump it for a 5x.
You're that confident in it?
100%, dude. I mean, I don't know, man.
Rinse and repeat. It won't
set on fire yet.
Fail,
Chris
dude.
has been
What
on
do
the
you mean?
platform for 3 days, so We give that going for us.
Yeah. And it seems like he understands how the platform works, which is more than you can say from the previous leader. Okay, well. Oh, we got 1 second. I'm skipping both hands because we haven't heard from Plotsky in God knows how long, and I want to. Plotsky, what's going on?
Good morning. I don't think anybody mentioned this, that Yuga put out a statement about 2 hours ago about the whole eye thing.
I just saw that.
Yeah, it was really vanilla. Like they had said they know that some of the people were affected and that it was under 1%, and that they're reaching out individually to people to try to find out why, but that almost everyone has improved, and that they encourage people to get medical attention if they have any symptoms. But they didn't, like I said, it was a very cautious notice. And something else I saw that was interesting last night, someone had posted that they pointed out that the punks, like in NB's profile, that were on The Simpsons, that they might have actually been Nakamigos, because punks don't wear backwards hats, but Nakamigos do, and they look quite similar.
See, I don't want to go down that route.
Did The Simpsons make Nakamigos?
I think that's what they're getting at.
There was 2 Beeple pieces in it. They're gonna have a field day.
Did The Simpsons and Beeple collab to make Nakamigos?
Seriously, the Nakamigos cope on the timeline is just out of hand.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Like, this conspiracy theories you guys just pull out your asses.
No, but it actually makes sense, because there's no reason for the CryptoPunks to be at the poorest train car at $2. So it would make sense that they're a derivative. I wasn't sure which, but now it makes a little more sense that they're. I hate to say that, I really do. It doesn't make me proud.
Yeah, the mouth.
You guys wouldn't get it.
The mouth is a little different, but
Jonah sold his punk.
Yeah, but that was because it turns out the social lead from Yuga Labs made some very fucked up comments. Dude, you're the social lead and you don't do like social cleansing? Like, you don't get like
social cleansing.
Oh, dude, if I got hired for any
social
job that
media
is
cleaning.
connected to my Twitter, I am wiping that shit, right away. I don't know why people wouldn't.
Buddy, you're our lone ape up here. What are your thoughts on that situation?
Probably should have lost his job. Right, he did. I mean, well, he didn't get fired. He resigned, right? But
I think it was, those things in like corporate media where they're like,
I don't think it's like some bigger indictment on Yuga or something, like, right? Like, this happens relatively often in like the real world too, right? Like, you always see like
facts.
A player.
This happens way more sooner than you think.
Old, right? I don't know, man.
Somebody's email got leaked.
I think the timing of it is horrendous, because Ape Fest seemed to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, timing of it was just fucking raw for Yuga, man. GG's to them.
No, I don't think that.
Good luck coming back from that one again.
The community manager.
That was
He's
an
writing
IP
this stuff.
infringement case, dude.
Bro, it was still on Twitter. It didn't even come up in court. I mean, that baffles me.
I mean, I totally agree with you, Bunny. It's not a larger indictment, but it's just such a bad look, because they just got the Writer Rips win too, which was like, that was so stupid. That claim of like anti-Semitism was so dumb, and there's no reason to suggest it. So on top of the Yuga thing, it's like for this to surface, but people are they make some ambitious things. Like MB is doing this digital blackface thing, which some people are they got real guts. So
okay, Jesus. I don't want to be the one to say it, so I'm just gonna come out and say it. And no one take this the wrong offensive way. I did see the one anti-Semitic comment, but maybe I missed something. Are we not going to acknowledge the other about 20 tweets of him dropping the N-word? And I don't know if he's black or not, so maybe that
he's
like,
not.
He's
okay.
He's pretty white.
He's whiter than Easy, bro.
So why is so here's the thing. Why is the anti-Semitism thing like the front-facing part of obviously?
I think it's everything.
Dude, but that's
there really
like,
wasn't a word that he didn't say.
I'm sorry. I gotta step. No one ever wants to say this. If you grew up white in hip hop culture, there's a lot of people that in the 90s and 2000s are in between on this issue. We're not going to get into a whole race thing, but
it doesn't make it okay.
No, it doesn't make it okay. But at least there's a context there. Like the white Jews thing or taking over America. Like there's no way there's no joke there. There's no way.
I mean, dude, he made a joke about Hitler. Like that is
like
fucked
those
up.
are just
well, that's
jokes.
like a common dark joke that like I've heard. That
I mean, dude, once again, that doesn't make it okay. Like, it doesn't matter what side of this you're on. It wasn't okay.
I don't think that's
and what I was getting at was he resigned, but I don't think the resignation was one of those, hey, I'm going to resign because it's what I want to do. I think it was you got two options. You resign
or we
fire
you.
you.
Yeah.
He also said that they were photoshopped, right? And then when he was
They were
I
not
know when he was
photoshopped.
questioned
They were still up.
when he was
They're still
when
up.
he was questioned about it, he said, "Well, it was like two different comments were spliced together on the same image. Like I said them both, but that's what I meant by photoshopped."
But they're
Like
the
he's spinning everything.
but they're the comments he made.
Yeah, and
Those are the comments he made.
that's not really me. Like, dude, you don't need a PR person to tell you that is such a tired line. It's like I'm sorry, you.
Yeah.
First day PR. Like, no. I would have thrown my bus in front of that season.
Wasn't good. NFT Statistics did request to speak, so I am curious if NFT Statistics has anything to add to any of the conversation we've talked about. I think it's one of the first times we've had him up.
Dude, I love that guy.
Oh, I'm up here. What's up, dude?
How you living?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing?
Cannot complain. I got a little bit of a cold from Amsterdam. This is what happens when you live out in the rain. But hey, we're bouncing back.
Dude, I love it. I used to live in Amsterdam. I love that city. The only thing I'd say on this topic is my friend Dan Green. I'd recommend checking out his tweet on the topic because he's.
What's his at?
Let's see, Daniel Green. I don't even know. He was the guy who was at Meebits.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find the tweet. I'll find it. I'll at you. The only reason I mention it is because he's Jewish. He worked very closely with this guy. He said that the guy was one of the most supportive guys when it came to the Pride tweet that Meebits put out, which kind of got attacked by the community, which was about gay LGBTQ pride and stuff like that. And he said that this guy was like the most supportive guy out there. I think he said a lot of dumb stuff, which was kind of which was kind of like
he's supported for like LGBT, but he's mad racist. So we should give him a pass. Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't justify any of it. I think it was the right move for him no longer to be there. But I thought it was interesting seeing this tweet from Danny, who I know is like very active in the Jewish community, who put something out from Meebits that was really kind of promoting LGBTQ within Meebits. And so he just had that experience working with this guy on those things. I'll find the tweet and I'll show it to you. But I thought it was kind of like it was like it's right for this guy to be let go. He said some really dumb stuff that like a corporate doesn't want, but let's not get too judgmental necessarily. Or I don't know. I'll send it to you.
That's definitely good context. I mean, it's always nice. You don't want to paint with a wide brush. But and let's not forget the whole Israel-Palestine and the fallout that's happening, whatever side you want to talk about. This could not have happened at a worse time. Sometimes, sorry, it's court. They're a billion-dollar company. It's sometimes you got to make it's just a no-brainer. The guy might be a great guy. It's just
100%. I mean, that's like I worked at Goldman Sachs during the financial crisis, and I worked at Uber when we were public enemy #1 and getting taken down. You got to be very careful what you put in writing. And people in this, especially if you're going to start associating with big companies, you just got to be so careful what you put in writing. And I'm constantly noticing younger people in the space just don't get that, and it comes back to haunt you. And just be extremely careful what you put in writing. Everybody who's listening, remember that. And I'm not just talking about what you put on Twitter. I'm talking about what you WhatsApp to people, what you like. All that stuff is fair game. Like I've seen
DMs, Telegram messages. I mean, dude, we even saw Signal messages from FTX that had auto delete functionality recorded. Once you send it, that thing's out there.
Yep, you just gotta be careful. Yeah, I've had emails that I wrote 5 years earlier sent to me because when I worked at Uber, everyone was coming after us and we were getting sued by everybody. So just gotta be careful.
No, 100%, 1,000%. It's also good to have you up here, my friend. Tig, what do you got? Let's wrap with shrimp.
Just two quick things on the Yuga. This thing came about because Do It Big Chicago was actually brought it up on the Discord. He found those tweets and then it became a big deal. He got kicked out of the Discord. So then he started making a big deal on Twitter. And that's how it kind of caught fire. So this was brought up to the attention maybe like a couple days ago and nothing came about it. So that's why Do It Big Chicago made a big deal about Twitter because he thought like it should be kind of more widely known. So that's what kind of kicked things off this weekend. Also, crypto finally reported that 3 years ago, Hypebeast had a party in the same area that the Ape Fest was held, and they also hired like a third party light company or something like that. And a lot of the same attendees had some of the same I issues at post that conference as well. So it was kind of weird that maybe they hired the same kind of third party to I don't set up this venue. So it's kind of interesting to see that.
I haven't seen a bunch of that. It's also interesting to see Yuga say less than 1%, which I saw someone say would make it like 5 to 10 people, but there's definitely been more than 10 people who are like, yeah, my eyes are burning. And not a good sign. Shrimp, what do you got before we wrap?
Good fucking morning. One, funny, it was great meeting you in Amsterdam. I'm glad I got to meet you finally in person. You definitely look just like your ape. Nah, dude, but I think the Raposa's like you hit the nail on the head, dude. Because like I said earlier, dude, whenever Nashville came, they were at it like just below 1 soul. Then they ripped up to like 3. Now they're just cruising around 1 soul, and everyone's talking about them. I don't think there's I think an easy 2 or 3x is a no brainer with them, and they actually have revenue streams, which I guess most projects can't say realistically. But no, the only thing that nobody fucking set up here, and I'm low key disappointed. Why the fuck is no one talking about DKS? I'm sorry, that was like probably one of outside of Boogles, like those were like the 2 kind of like 101 type communities that were there. DKS showed out, dude. I fucking love those guys, bro. I'm just saying, like I think people are sleeping on that.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to add to it,
I mean, dude, I know what those guys do, and they cook, and yeah, that's probably my honest purchase that I plan on doing post Breakpoint.
Well, there you go. Looks like Shrimp's deploying some capital. B, what do you got here?
Yeah, last thing. This merger with Yuga and Magic Eden. So a couple things. One, do we have a date as to when that's going to go live, like the ETH trading on Magic Eden?
They said end of the year, before end of the year.
Before end of the
next year, guys. Don't worry.
So a couple
dude,
months.
in second, like I'm telling you, all the Solana projects are going to take off at that point. I see that Magic Eden, I think, is going to pick up some slack, and having the ETH MFers with the ability to trade so close to Solana, I think it's also going to help the Bitcoin stuff. But I just think it's going to have a liquidity pool move to Magic Eden that they've never seen. I think all the projects are going to benefit from it. I think it's going to be bullish for it's really interesting, and I'm a fan of it. So I'm excited to see that kind of thing come down the pike.
I think you're spot on too. I think it's going to be a funnel that leads back to it. It's also what you've been seeing from some of the messaging from the ME team. It's just crazy to see a lot of the takes on the timeline, especially from the ETH side, saying that Magic Eden started the 0% royalties, when in actuality, that's not true. Like,
and it's funny because
they accelerated it though, dude. They were the ones.
I'll give you accelerate, sure, but they were also one of the largest proponents in solving it. They launched their own contract for a variety of mints to create an enforced royalty standard on Solana.
What was that? The lending platform that did all of this? Yeah, dude, bro, they're the worst.
And then the team
Fuck
left.
them.
Y'all started it. It got up to 20% market share in like 21 days, which is crazy. And then launched D-Calls, which was a shorting and longing platform on like 1 minute candles. And then the team rugged. And now it's taken over by the community.
Ooh, that's
going to do it for today's episode. We're back in at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Have a beautiful day. We will catch you next time.
Yo, I'm gonna leave Easy's music because I'll get copyright with this shit. So stop, Easy. Don't do this to me, mother ever. Here, we're gonna go on a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. It's your boy Dev Alex. Today we got Spaces Host. We're hosting the best Spaces host in Web3. We started GMGM Web3 with we started with what's his name? Yes, we started with lower this a little bit. Dun, dun, dun. Yes. We started with EC GMGM Market Talk. We're about to tune in to the fellers at Nick and Peel, the NFT Morning Show. Thank you for tuning in. We're coming back right back. Here's a short break. And then we have Buildwood Backdrop at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. That's 12 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back. happening right now.
Coach had the second time even down here. Come on. Y'all ready to lose it right now? Oh, y'all. Sing it. Coach Allen, y'all ready to turn it up a notch right here? Together, baby!
I see no change. Wake up in the morning and I ask myself, it's like work, another shot, blast myself. I'm tired of being poor, need work some black. My stomach hurts, so nigga for a break to snatch. Cops give a damn about a need, bro. Pull a trigger, kill a nigga, he's a hero. Get it back to the kids, who the hell cares? One less ugly match on the well.
Alright, we're back. Let's go.
Y'all know the words! Coach Allen, make some noise for Casey on the saxophone!
Yo, Kick is probably the best streaming platform. I must say.
Coach Allen, y'all know what to do on this one! I need all y'all feet up off the ground! Get up! 1, 2, 3!
This is savage. All right, let's go. Open up.
If there's a migration of the apes and the mutants, cool buddy. And think about this, not just the apes and the mutants. Think if doodles want to do it, right? And you want to migrate. There are projects. If you were early 2021, at some point, you will become a historical NFT. We talk provenance all the time. This impacts that. And so let's be critical thinkers. This is the other challenge I have with Yuga being the one leading it. Anytime Yuga does something, I feel like critical thinking goes out the window. It's like, fuck yes, let's go. We're riding. And I think that we need more critical thinking of what ramifications, not just today, but 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road can play into the assets that we own. We own them. They don't own them. And so we need to be thinking about that from an individual standpoint as well as collectively together.
Yeah, I think it's all good thoughts, man. I think this is like, but I do want to say like the important part, and I'll kind of like step back on this one again, is again, like, yes, currently, absolutely, 100% agree with you on the way current sort of, projects are going to have to make some decisions. Things like, you name it, like, from a doodle to a, to a Bored Ape, to a, whatever it may be, is going to have those discussions. But I think moving forward is the important part you want to look at. And that's where I think it's important to consider creators in this thing and how we do this going forward. But yeah, I mean, I don't, and by the way, raise his hand. I am the sucker who I sold my mutant, and I listed it on Blur and I listed it on OpenSea. When I listed it on Blur and it said, what's your optional creator royalty? I put in the creator royalty that Yugo was taking, which I think was 2.5%. It's where it ultimately sold, and I sent it to them. I'm the sucker who probably says like, hey, I want to tip this company on the way out for doing a great job for me. Or even if they don't, like, I generally have not been one. I'm not sure. I might have lowered royalties on a handful of things where I was maybe a little saltier, but generally speaking, I pay them out the door. But again, like, that's, that it'll be an interesting move moving forward to see who now builds these in as they go. And I'll be interested to see what they do. Or, again, there is the idea of, I mentioned like, hey, like, while they didn't sell like merch or anything or the vape drop or anything in ApeCoin, which, you know, I know that they had previously, maybe there's a situation where this is powered by ApeCoin and you get a 10% discount on what you're buying if you pay in ApeCoin, and that covers royalties. Or, you know, there are mechanisms and things they can introduce to try and enforce that. But I know I said I was going to go Joey. Let's go Joey, Mosher, David, then over to Emlo in that order. Joey, get in here.
Yeah, so I love the enforcement of royalties, and I just think that need to be the enforcement needs to be reimagined. I think the current system of enforcing royalties is the reason why people like Blur um, came into existence. And so, but I don't support marketplace royalties because, to Rig's point, that's the exact opposite of decentralization. It's centralization, right? It's one entity controlling how and when you can do things. I've said when this no royalty conversation happened a year ago, right? Like towards the end of 2022, when it was the hottest thing on the timeline and everybody was talking about it. I had said somebody needs to design a smart contract where you're only paying, think of it more like how commissions are paid as salespeople, right? So if I buy an NFT at 10 ETH, I'm incurring the risk of that NFT at 10 ETH because I'm choosing to spend 10 ETH, right? If that NFT goes up to 15 ETH, I should, in my opinion, only pay you on the 5 ETH profit that I made because the 10 ETH is my risk, not your risk. And then if that NFT goes from 10 ETH to 5 ETH, why should I then have to pay you on the 5 ETH that I'm selling when I'm selling at a loss? So I've said that somebody needs to come up with a contract where you're only paying royalties or commissions or creator fees, whatever you call it, on gains, and you're not paying it on losses. I don't think you should have to pay on the total price of an item. Because again, the artist is not the one incurring the risk when the investment happens. I am risking 10 ETH, not the artist. So if I risk 10 ETH and it goes to 20 ETH, I'll gladly pay you 5% of that, right? I'll pay you half an ETH on my 10 ETH profit. I don't think I should pay you a full ETH because again, there's no risk to you. And the same about losses. I don't think you should pay on losses. So I love the idea that people are trying to combat the no creator fees, no royalties. I don't like that it's happening at the marketplace level. I would prefer it happens at the contract level. I think we have a ton of really smart people in this space that could figure out a way to enforce things at the contract level.
It can be done not just at the contract level, it can be done at the NFT level. That's the thing, is like we're very blockchain specific because ETH has certain properties besides the legacy value of ETH, as well as the fact that it is a sort of secure option. It's a little more difficult, it's a little more high end, whatever. But there are places like Chia, for example. I've talked about them on the show before. They can enforce a royalty at the token level, meaning that if you trade a token, you get to have them enforced there. So it's completely marketplace agnostic. You trade it, right? Contract level does exist, by the way. If you trade a Pirate Nation pirate, it doesn't matter if it's on Blur. It doesn't matter if it's on, this is an Arbitrum-based game. But the, buy and sell on Ethereum, it's like if you buy a pirate or sell a Pirate Nation pirate, it's like you're paying the royalty whether you sell it on Blur, whether you sell it on OpenSea. It doesn't matter. That's built in. So it's doable, and it's doable on things moving forward. It's just, I think, for some people, I think there is, to your point, like people saying like, oh, well, why do we need the marketplace if we can do this another way? And that does bring the question up. Is this a product that is ultimately, needed, or is it a product that is a temporary thing that ultimately won't need as we build things in either at the token or the contract level?
Yeah, I also, and Joey, sorry, Joey. I also just want to make this clear. I think we're talking.
That's like the main thing. Is this product
or at
needed?
least I hope
I think
we are, specifically about these project-led NFTs.
That people don't ask
when
enough.
It's an art-centric piece.
We're gonna tune in to the NFT.
If I buy a Nifty piece,
Porto,
there's nothing that he can do to make that price go up or down in my opinion.
Show.
Unless he gets just canceled, right? That's another situation. But
money obviously dropping that
if I take that risk and if I buy a traditional art piece,
if we did have sound effect, it would have been
breaking news, and then like it just carried on into the weekend. So you guys came back just in time. I think today's news is probably even bigger than on Friday. So you guys are back just in time to get up.
Got it. And people are violently complaining about the connection on YouTube. Can people on Twitter Spaces give me any emoji, just a thumbs up, if on Twitter Spaces this sounds like normal shows? Bunny's giving me a thumbs up. He's on the stage. I don't know if that counts. Look, Cow is also.
You sound
Oh, yeah, that connection's brutal, bro.
On space.
Okay. Was
People
also
are-
saying the audio is. Clemente?
You sound fine. You sound fine, Pio.
Okay.
On space.
People are saying the audio
Spaces
is
sounds fine.
terrible, and they're literally saying
That's
my
why you
ears.
do
I can't
multiple
believe- I can't tell if
platforms,
they're
ladies and
trolling us
gentlemen.
because of the blinding that happened at the Bored Ape Yacht Club thing. So now all senses just get cooked when you attend NFT-related things. But I don't really understand. Yeah, I don't know what to...
It sounds fine from here, which is crazy.
I don't know what to say, ladies and gentlemen. People on YouTube are acting like I'm tackling their grandmothers when in reality I'm doing the show the way I do every other day. I'm in a different location, right? I don't know. All right, we'll end the YouTube stream. I don't know what to tell you guys. People are like, this is the worst YouTube thing ever that's ever happened. Is the
Well, they're
response?
saying mine is fine. I'm the best. Clearly, we know this. So if my audio's good, maybe I just speak for the next
Do it.
52 minutes. Yeah, wow. Everyone's saying I'm great. I do have to say, I tuned into the show from the plane, and it was a great episode. I was gassed for you guys. I was listening, and I was like, this is a good episode. I texted Bunny and Kix and said I was jealous because of the cast that you guys had. You had Kix, you had Bunny on video, Sig, and Clemente. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, damn, dude, I'm upset. I'm upset. I was envious.
Oh yeah, we're gonna definitely. I think I told Clemente already. I was like, well, I want that lineup, that squad, that rotation should do a show once a week for sure. I'm bringing a camera back to New York to give to Bunny. So Bunny's gonna have a camera now. He's gonna be a professional, professional video guy. Bunny, how do you feel about that?
Dude, I feel good. I'm actually glad I'm not in Hong Kong. Still have my eyesight, which is a bonus. Dude, they had an interesting week. You missed a banger though, Pio. You really did. It was a good. We had a lot of stuff to talk about.
Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I just muted myself. Am I doing better? YouTube audience, please let me know. Okay, can't hear it. Okay, I don't know what to tell you guys. We're doing it the same way that we've done it for literally 2 years. I don't even know what to even say at this point. Well, we're going to delete the YouTube video then. I don't know what to say. Anyway, we got to keep doing the show, and I don't have a fix, and there is no fix because nothing is different about this YouTube presentation than any other day that we've ever done. So look, today we're going to discuss all things Ape Fest. We're going to take an updated look at meme coins since it's Friday launch, and we're going to discuss whether or not Magic Eden has a chance to become the #1 Ethereum NFT marketplace. I'll give you a hint. They do have a chance. Before we go any further, The Simpsons featured NFTs on their episode of Treehouse of Horror. I'm not a Simpsons fan. I feel like Bunny might be. Bunny feels to me like somebody that's watched a lot of Simpsons in his life. Am I right about that, Bunny?
I'm not like a huge Simpsons fan. I've seen a bunch of episodes. Like I've seen the movie. I actually didn't catch this episode last night, but I mean, we got it. We got a derivative out of it, right? It was a free mint. Like I think it went live during the show, and it went to like 0.4 ETH. So,
well, we're
so back.
That's definitely so back.
0.45 ETH. The episode slapped. I watched it immediately. I stopped watching football to watch the episode because I was so excited for it. It was a good episode. It was a really good episode, I will say. They played into everything. They said the PFPs were the lowest value. They had all these different artists. The Goose was on there. Pac was on there. Beeple obviously a couple times was on there. It was good. That the Bored Apes were the workers in the blockchain instead of blockchain. It was just a well done. It clearly, we talked about it a little bit this morning. They definitely had somebody who's familiar with NFTs giving them insight on like what to talk about and how to drive it. But yeah, I thought it was great. I thought the episode, they crushed it.
And it looks like we're restarting the YouTube stream. Just FYI for people that were watching there. Sid, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I grew up watching Simpsons, and then I just like, you kind of stop when you're older, considering the show's been on for so long. But the Treehouse of Horrors is their like annual Halloween storyteller, and I would say it's probably some of the best episodes they've done. And this one in particular, I I was shocked at how good it was because yeah, I agree with you, Easy. There's no way that the writers. So they announced that they were going to do this. I think last year. I want to say. I
January.
remember January. Yeah, I remember
teased the
this.
graphic.
Yeah, I remember this being a story that they were going to do this now. So this has been in the works for probably maybe 18 months, maybe even longer. But it is so well done. Like the writing, the story, the people that they acknowledge in the space, the inside jokes. It's about 6 minutes long, and I would say anyone in the space that has been here for a while should watch it because it takes all the best elements of like what the WSJ will say about NFTs, the tech and Bitcoin's in there and Satoshi's in there. It's really, really well done. P.O., you're going to enjoy it. And I would suggest anyone who hasn't seen it to watch it.
Well, I'll have to check it out. I love the way South Park has portrayed crypto and NFTs in every episode. I just feel like they did such a great job. I'm not really a huge Simpsons guy, but I'll check it out. Real quick update, and we're not going to just keep talking about this, ladies and gentlemen, over and over again, but Clemente has gone to start a new stream, and he's going to text me if that one is working. We don't know what's going on with the YouTube side. Everything felt normal to me, but people were saying that it was not working properly. So please bear with us. We're going to work on fixing that in the background. Clemente is trying to get that cooking, and he's going to text me. But anyway, let's get into the weather report. Signal, please take it away. Monday, November 6th.
Monday, November 6th, guys, it is a kickoff into the news. That's what's been happening. Tons and tons. You got market volume down to 10.7 million. Blur at 8, OpenSea at 1.9. Clemente says, ouch. Onto the market leaders. You got Apes pulling back to 28 ETH, obviously post 8 Fed. Captain still holding above 4, despite that volatility on that meme coin, while the rest of the leaders are holding pretty much okay. Other movers include Mockaverse. They're up about 35%. Cryptos, the vibes have taken them up 30% to 0.9. Even Doodles are up 15%. And way back when Creeps are even up 20%. The big stories over the weekend, well, obviously, we'll start with Yuga. 3 big things came out of their ecosystem. Firstly, 8fest was a roller coaster of events. It started with their collab with Vape, with some holders having to wait in line for over 5 hours for this limited edition supply of high-end merch. Some people were stating that the experience should have been better planned. Then their second big announcement was the collab with Magic Eden. Bunny broke it on the show first here on Friday on them developing an Ethereum-based NFT marketplace that would honor the royalties. And then thirdly, Yuga finished the weekend with the party, which featured a BMW display, various artist performances, various attendees, but obviously we have the eye damage from the light, with some even needing to go to hospital to get that fixed. That's when you need your health insurance. Onto The Simpsons, we just touched on it. It was a treehouse of horrors featuring Bart Simpson being turned into an NFT and the journey through the block train to find him. The episode features cameos from Dmitry Cherniak the Goose, several pieces by Beeple, Bored Apes, and X-Copy. There were several Simpson-themed derivatives that minted during the episode, but the most successful one was Springfield Punk. It was a free mint, went all the way to 0.5, recording almost 1,000 ETH in volume. It just smelled of the good old days. Over onto the marketplaces, you got OpenSea CEO Devin Feinzer announced that OpenSea would be laying off a portion of the staff as they are focusing on becoming OpenSea 2.0, which will focus on innovating and iterating their products faster. And then it was later revealed that 50% of the staff have actually been laid off. And as usual, everyone on Twitter called for an OpenSea token. And then lastly, Memecoin by Memeland is down 13% in the last 24 hours with a fully diluted valuation of 1.3 billion after peaking at over 2 billion on Friday. We'll have to reach out to Kicks to see if he managed to sell, but the captains are at 4 ETH and they hold over $10,000 worth in locked meme coin under the current valuation, while Potatoes are still holding 1.6. It was a jam-packed weekend, everyone, but it's back to you folks back at home in America.
Fantastic weather report as usual, Signal. I just pasted a link in the private chat to a different StreamYard. I'm going to jump into that. Ladies and gentlemen, this will take less than 10 seconds. I'm doing it right now. I'm ripping the Band-Aid off. I'm going. All right, I'm going. Here we go. You can probably still hear me on Twitter. And Nick, you are supposed to be on vacation, sir. I told you not to work.
You got to
Good to
mute
go?
yourself.
I think we are good to go, ladies and gentlemen, on the new stream. Seems that the folks on YouTube are satisfied with the audio. Clemente is a magician, and by a magician, I mean he made a new StreamYard link, sent the link to us, and we joined it. Nothing else changed. After a fantastic weather report from Signal, can I get an audio check to make sure that we are good in here?
We are good. Time zones have changed. We are sounding smooth.
Oh, let's go. Nick, what the hell are you doing here? You are on vacation, sir. What are you doing here?
I'm looking at flamingos right now that are chilling directly in front of me. It's pretty nice.
You son of a gun.
They're enjoying the morning show.
Well, what, dude? You need to unplug. I said one meeting this week. It's today at noon. That's the only meeting. Nothing else.
Yeah, the show's going on. I'm about to go float in the water, dude. Like, let me tell you, it's not too stressful here.
I mean, I told you just the meeting with A16Z at noon about the $25 million, funding round. But other than that, like, you're not supposed to be here.
Well, I am here right now for a moment, just enjoying the weather and about to go float. I thought I'd say hello. And I have what sounds like literally a plane directly taking off behind me, which is incredible.
All right, well, go relax, buddy, and also watch the thing that I've been asking you to watch. And yeah, I'll see you at noon.
I'll get to that in
Eastern time.
March, dude. It's all good.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll see you in the meeting with A16Z. So really interesting stuff in the NFT space right now. Well, some quick updates from the Daily Digest. The Daily Digest, of course, is posted to X every morning. It's pinned up top, and it's emailed to anyone that subscribes at thenifty.com. Yuga Labs' social media lead was laid off after harmful tweets were resurfaced from his account. Ever heard of deleting your old racist tweets, ladies and gentlemen? It's not that hard to do. I deleted all of mine. You know, when I called people from Iceland penguins and shit, like I deleted all that stuff. I was just like, yeah, you polar bears over in Iceland, get out of here. That's why you guys can't cancel me now. Anyway, Stars Arena 2 was announced after a new team takes
Classic
over.
racist joke there, Pio. Great job.
Nick, are you satisfied with how well your video of the people not knowing who you are is doing? It seems like it's doing quite well.
Well, it's Monday is better than a Saturday afternoon. I'll tell you that much for posting that content. But yeah, I'm doing all right with it. But no, keep the racist jokes coming. Really
Okay.
looking forward to more of those.
Okay, there you go. And I'm going to play that video at the end of the show, too, because of the learnings that we had in Breakpoint about where different audience members are consuming content. So we'll play it on this show. Anyway, Blur Season 2 rewards is coming in less than 2 weeks. The Blur token is up 27% in the last 7 days to 32 cents. Grapes by Animoca was the winner of the weekend, up 50% to 1.3 Ethereum to anticipate for their Grape token reaching new highs. Clemente wrote that wrong. After the airdrop to Rare Pass holders, Remnants by Xcopy holds a 7 ETH floor, while the Rare Pass drops to 0.6 ETH. Artist Pack teased a comeback after posting a video on Twitter and fuels controversy. If by fuels controversy, you mean gets called out by everybody, including me and Nick, because clearly that is like one of the best bull run indicators I've ever seen, is that Pack's like, oh, I'm going to get ready to come back and extract some value from y'all. And I was thinking about it. I feel like one of the Pack pieces is actually called Extraction, which is a hilarious on the nose, trolling you without you realize he's trolling you type of thing. Last thing, Claynosaurs, official trailer. Shout out to Claynosaurs. Has received 150K views on YouTube, and the YouTube account has reached over 20K subscribers, and they're making waves in the traditional animation world, which is not a surprise because that's where they come from, and this trailer is absolutely badass. But just crazy to see that success. This is so cool, incredibly well done, and very, very, very exciting. Very exciting, in my opinion, for NFT-related organizations just progressing in general. Very exciting stuff. Easy, what's the floor on a Clayno?
Right now, I think it's just hair under $1,000 US.
Soul-wise, what is it? Soul.
Let me double check. I think that puts
have dipped recently, right?
Yeah, well, everything in the Sol ecosystem did dip just because of the run. They're at 26. So at 40, you're looking at 26 times 40, give or take. I think we're at like 42. Yeah, a little over $1,000, like 1,100, which not too shabby. They minted, I think, for 150. Was what it was, 150 to $200. And overall, I mean, it's great to see. I'm very excited. I love their event. I think they had one of the best events at Breakpoint. Really good crowd, great venue. It wasn't too loud, so you could actually talk to people. And then they dropped their announcement in person. They had their physical items, so they had the plushies that they were showing. They had a vinyl figure that they haven't teased. Showed that for the first time. And then they teased their mobile app that they're launching, which they're calling a mix of Tamagotchi and Fortnite. I'm very curious to see how exactly that'll pan out, but I'm very eager and excited for it. I think if any project on Sol is going to break through that barrier, we're already starting to see it right now with Klano. And I love their team. Like, I'm definitely a Klano maxi. I only hold one of them. I don't hold many by any means, but I'm a huge fan of their team. I've talked to them a bunch. Really, really excited to see what they continue to cook.
And real quick, and we got a lot of stuff to dive into. Today is a juicy day. I can feel it down in my plums today. I'll tell you that. But real quick, Clanosaurs, the event. I don't want to understate this. The event's like their event in Breakpoint last week. That was like a real event, like an actual event that took probably like a team of people to plan, and it was a whole thing. Our event was a cocktail party. That's what we do. We rent a bar. It's an open bar. We don't do food because nobody eats the food, and you can come and you can hang out and talk to each other, and that's like our thing. The Clanosaurs event was an actual event at a massive venue. So it was really, really cool. And seeing the reveal of their the plushies and the trailer was very, 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 very cool. Incredible. Just incredible. Fantastic to see in the Web3 space. But anyway, moving on, we're going to quickly cover Ape Fest and people literally being blinded, which I don't think, look, ladies and gentlemen, maybe you can put yourself in the shoes of a startup entrepreneur. Maybe this will be the thing that you can understand. Can you imagine planning your big international annual basically conference, right? It's an in-person meetup, but at a big scale. It's probably got a multi-7-figure budget, literally. You're the biggest startup in the space. You are funded by A16Z. That's not a joke. You're actually funded by A16Z. You've generated more revenue than anybody else. You have the biggest name in the space. There was no chance that one of the problems that they foresaw coming was people being hospitalized because of eye-related issues because of the lighting setup. Can you put yourself in their shoes real quick? They weren't trying to blind people. This wasn't some Illuminati thing like, yeah, we're going to take away their vision. Like, come on, man. Can you imagine having to deal with this? People were probably up all night at the, like on the Yuga team, like the founders and stuff probably had to be up all night to deal with that, to talk to lawyers, to release an official statement. I don't even know if they've done that yet. But Bunny, what do you make of that? And then we're going to move on because we got a bunch of juicy market stuff, both on the NFT side and the crypto side to get into. But Bunny, please take it away.
When I'm going to a party that I expect to be lit, I assume I'm going to get injured or sick or something anyway. So I feel like it's just par for the course, dude. Like, you're going to get some bumps and bruises at these things. It's not a big deal. Not the end of the world. I'm sure just throw some Visine in and rally,
Bunny, just because you solve all your eye-related problems that are due to smoking marijuana by putting Visine in your eyes doesn't mean that people that had actual optical issues that rendered them hospitalized in Asia is going to be solved.
I talked to one of my buddies who's there. He said he just threw some Visine and he was good to go. So.
Well, there you go. I need to figure out how to put my phone in a do not disturb mode because I'm getting random calls from Nashville, Tennessee. Probably someone trying to fish me. But anyway, Clemente, go.
Real quick, shout out. I don't know if it's the Simpsons effect, but this space today is pretty electric to the point to where we're getting call outs from commenters saying NFTs are pointless, and a mention in an episode of The Simpsons doesn't change that. So thank you for listening, Johnny.
So I love this. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you an indicator that you can only pick up on from years in the space. The numbers in the Twitter show are an indicator that there's attention on NFTs realistically because of The Simpsons. And when people write negative tweets like that, like haters, that's the ultimate good sign. Because if there aren't people writing hater tweets, then basically just nobody's paying attention to your shit. So nearly nobody said anything negative about our show for almost a calendar year during the past bear market. I need people coming over and telling me to douse myself in gasoline and light myself on fire. That's what's going to make me happy, because that's going to show that the haters are back and that the NFT side of the space is back. But look, we got to talk about the market here. You know, I've been thinking a lot about a few different things over the weekend. So I've been plowing money into Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Dogecoin over the past year, to a point that Nick, a quote from Nick, my co-founder in this organization, who's supposed to be a crypto guy, his quote was, "The amount of Bitcoin that you're buying is not normal." That was a quote from Nick at dinner one day. He said it was not normal. We'll see who's not normal now that it's the early, if I was buying all that stuff when Bitcoin was in the low 20s. But anyway, Ethereum right now is the most interesting to me, because you see the pump on Solana, the unholy pump on Solana. You see the pump on Bitcoin because of the ETF, and then you see the Ethereum lag, and people basically saying like Ethereum's falling behind. You want to buy Bitcoin and Solana. Solana solves the problems that Ethereum has not solved. Easy, what do you make of accumulating Ethereum at this price?
I'm torn on it. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm a Solana maxi. So for me, it's like, I just think ETH will get back to all-time high, but the way I'm looking at this is I just look at risk reward profile of it all. Like, what has a higher upside with lower downside? It's some of these alts. Like, I'm net long AVAX, net long Sol. Obviously, I do still hold some Bitcoin and ETH, but if I'm buying more, someone asked, they're like, "Are you still buying Sol at $40?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, my DCA approach is not stopping. Probably until Solana hits $100, and then I'll reevaluate. But once it hits 100, then maybe I just stop the DCA approach and just Sol. But right now, it's like I don't see any reason not to continue to just buy Solana every single day. You know, like that's my big thing. And I look at my Coinbase and it feels nice because I just have buys every single day. I don't think about it. I get the notification on my Apple Watch that says your purchase has gone through. I'm like, great, awesome. Not too worried about the price. I looked at my average price the other day in Breakpoint and I was like, oh, this feels really good. You know,
Does that
just been buying.
Quick question? Does that Coinbase account have over or under 150,000 buckaroons in it? If you're talking US dollar stuff.
Yeah, a little more. Right now, a little more. But it's been like, dude, I bought a lot of Solana when we were on my space in December, when Sol was 860. I was like, dude, if I'm doing this space, we have 2,000 people in it, peak bear market. Why would I not be buying here? And even that day, it did a 50% candle when Vitalik tweeted about it. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, this feels good, you know? So, yeah, I mean, my Sol bags feel really good, feel very, very good. And I think they're going to feel even better when Solana trades at 100, and then feel even better when Solana trades at 300. Ooh. And then, you know, I'll feel untouchable when Solana trades at 600. You know, at that point, I'll probably start Googling Lamborghinis and making terrible decisions in my spare time.
Well, don't do that. Signal, what do you make of Ethereum here? And then I want to move on to NFT stuff. But Sig, please take it away.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I've just spent too much time with you guys because I've also been influenced by the Solana side of things. Ethereum, like I've been DCing and then just coming in and out of Ethereum because of buying and trading NFTs over the last few years. So I'm really comfortable with my ETH position. I don't feel like I need to keep adding to it aggressively, but I do feel I need to add more aggressively to Solana. I really, really do, for where it is, because I agree with Easy. I think it's just like the risk reward here still feels good. I don't see it going back down to $8. I mean, it would really take a
I'm
black
putting this
swan
on
event.
wax, Sig. We're not seeing under $20 again.
No,
I don't even
never.
No.
I'm putting it on wax. I'm putting it on wax. Write it down. Stamp of approval. 24. If we see 24 again, your boys backing up a Brinks truck, remortgaging a house I don't even own, and we're buying more.
The thing is, I don't really mind if it goes back down to 24 because I think in the long term it will still go back up. I really don't, and I think like what we just saw with how Bitcoin has performed over the last 18 months and seen its recovery, how Ethereum has done, how Solana has done, like all of these have weathered a brutal storm. And so I have confidence over the long term, and I don't trade in and out of this stuff. I just buy it in DCA. So I need to pack my bags a bit more. I'm definitely behind you, Easy. And yeah, just accumulate more. But ETH, not so much right now. Not so much.
Not so much right now. I'm telling you right now, Signal, this is the time to buy Ethereum because people are not paying attention to it and it's not going anywhere. Cometa, you looking like you want to step into the octagon. What's going on?
I just bought some literally 30 minutes ago. I was sitting there, my money finally transferred from my stock over here. All right, you know what? Never mind then. Never mind then. You know what? No, anyways, I bought some this morning. A sizable amount for me, I would consider.
$1,000, $2,000.
Oh, more money you got in your bank account right now.
The reason you're not going to get jumped is because literally nobody on the planet knows who any of us are. So don't worry about it. You're not going to get jumped. But anyway, so yeah, the crypto side, very interesting stuff. I also sat down and I was looking at so I have Pepe coin. I have like a negligible amount of Pepe coin to basically shut up all the shitcoin people that are.
Play and hold it. Like that's because if there is going to be a meme cycle, I think Pepe is going to cook. Like you still haven't gotten a Coinbase listing. I hold zero Pepe, but
bags,
like, every
baby.
cycle you always see
Let's
a
go
meme from
easy.
last
Let's go,
cycle
Pio.
become like still run. And like Pepe feels like the biggest no-brainer. You know what I mean? Like that's one. But Pio, I'm curious for you. Why are you hyper bullish ETH right now at this price action? Like you're like, I feel like ETH is a good buy here. Is it because everyone's kind of writing it off?
Well, keep in mind, I'm not a trader, right? So everybody like needs to understand I am not a guy that's buying something today to sell it tomorrow. I guess it did come up a little bit. It was at like 1,600 recently.
It's
so
outpaced Bitcoin and Sol on this most recent retrace. Like it seems like it's playing catch up here.
Well, maybe it's not a great time. I mean, it is a great time because the number that like Clemente just had the ETH price on the screen in like a year and a half. That number is going to be over 2x what the number is now.
People are rolling
so
profits
of course
from
it's a good
Solana
time.
into ETH. That's just a fact. And then people are going to roll profits from
money
ETH to
into this
Bitcoin.
stuff.
It's just like
So I've been reading this
basic
Broken Money by Lynn Alden book,
cryptoeconomics.
right? So, all right, I actually don't even want to do this right now. I'm not even going to do this. Let's just talk about NFTs. I'm not going to do this right now. I'm not doing it.
NFTs are cooking.
Let's
And I
talk
missed
about
all of
NFTs.
them last week, dude. Everything right now is running on the back of a potential token. Mochaverse giga sending 50 total listed because of a leaked slide that showed a Mocha token. Obviously, Animoca brands backing a ton of these other games, giga sending them. You have raw passes. Those went from, I think, a 0.03 mint. It's now sitting at 0.14. You got everything with the token, basically. Block Games Dice at 0.17. Vitaria up, or Mataria up. There's so much stuff right now that is on this back of tokens that are giga sending solely because Meme Token did what it did. And Meme Token's holding strong right now, which has people excited for what the potential next one could be. Grapes went from 0.3 to 1.3 in 14 days. Like that is a book. Shout out Tanner. He's been chilling grapes for so long.
They got a token too, Grape Token, right?
Yeah, so Grape Token is their token. I had the opportunity with the gold ticket to, I believe, put in, it's up to 0.3. You haven't had a chance to put it in yet. You can just confirm the wallet you plan to do it from. But that's an Animoca backed project. So right now, there's like a lot of speculation and hype going around of people that are getting excited for these next games and these next plays that people right now are like, I missed Meme Coin. I didn't think Meme Coin was going to do what it did, and it did what it did. So now you got so many people just like, okay, this feels like something. This definitely feels like something right now. I don't know exactly what it is, but the market feels good. You look at volume, we're over August highs from NFTs right now, and it's lining up perfectly with a small blur stimmy here in about 15 days. So you're getting this catalyst effect, this storm effect of people that are watching the market, finding plays. And I had talked last week on the lone day that I was on the show that I'm looking at stuff that's like 0.2 and under, because those right now have been just absolutely printing. Like you could have picked basically any of these games that have been sitting at 0.07 to 0.03, and every one of them has tested 0.2 now. So like those are clean 8 to 10 X's depending on where you got in on some of these things and where they've pushed. It feels good. Like the NFT market feels like it's getting some legs, but you're getting legs for things that have catalysts and deliverables, aside from obviously the Simpsons that dropped purely off the back of the speculation. I wouldn't touch that with a 50-foot pole, but there's some good plays out there. And I'm also like anxiously looking at like what the next play is going to be, because right now what this is setting up for is future plays, which I'm more excited about.
So I have questions. I have questions to people that were active in the space prior to 2020. As many people know, I started buying Bitcoin for the first time in March 2020, before the Bitcoin halving, the last Bitcoin halving. And then I did not get to NFTs until 1 year later in February 2021. What I would like to know is what the action was like on altcoins in late 2019. If anybody knows what the action was like on altcoins,
It was ugly.
It was ugly.
You got to remember, dude, ETH DeFi summer was 16 to 18. And altcoins in 19 basically fell off extremely hard until the summer of 2020.
What
You
about
had-
DeFi in late
That was
19?
summer of 2020. It was DeFi summer leading into the NFT run in 2021. So altcoins got just absolutely obliterated from 18 to 19. Basically, the whole market just got kicked in the face, and it was scary. Like that was the thing, was it was quiet, like really quiet on Twitter in that 18 cycle, like 16 to 18 bull, 18, 19 kind of this fall off, and then stuff started to heat up going into ETH DeFi summer where the market really felt alive. But like, dude, you didn't have Twitter the way it was right now. Like, no, there was no crypto Twitter. It was like you took like you can go back and look at like Nate Alex is a great Twitter account who has weathered the storm really well from last cycle and kept his account. He has tweets that literally have like 2 to 3 favorites when he talks about crypto and like the next 1000x, despite having 50, 60,000 followers. It was bad. Like people would just laugh at you about it. And obviously like that was, I said 50, 60,000 at the time is what he had versus now where it's a totally different game. But it was just a different world. And you look at it now and it's like night and day. Because even during this bear, we were showing up every day. People were showing up every day. People were still delivering. It was a totally different market where alts bled, majors bled. It was the end on the writing on the wall. It was over. Didn't ETH go down? I want to say to like $80. Like,
well, the low of the previous cycle was $80 ETH, and I want to say $3,000 Bitcoin. My first ETH buy was at $170, and I literally just bought it because I was like, well, I'm learning about this Bitcoin thing, and this is the number 2 thing, so let me buy some of this ETH thing. Obviously, at the time, I should have plowed every dollar I had into both of those, but whatever. If you go by the numbers, you technically should have plowed it all into ETH because ETH outperformed Bitcoin last cycle. But yeah, so I mean, the reason I brought it up easy is because it feels early for a major NFT pump. But then again, it's not like every cycle pattern needs to be identical. And we had Dan Held on the Bitcoin show last Tuesday. Dan Held has been a holder of Bitcoin, I want to say, since like 2010, 2011, if not earlier. And he talked about how this cycle could be different because the ETF could cause us to like front run previous cycle patterns. So previous cycle patterns were that the all-time highs would come between 6 and 18 months after the halving. The halving for Bitcoin, of course, coming up in late April. But if a BlackRock ETF gets approved for Bitcoin and all of a sudden you get like a $10,000 green candle on Bitcoin, literal piss missile, everybody's just talking about Bitcoin, then you see capital flow into altcoins like Ethereum, Solana, and others. Dogecoin too. I mean, Elon Musk has declared that X will never have its own native crypto token. There's been video footage of him suggesting the idea that you could tip another X creator in Dogecoin, and everybody knows how much he's obsessed with Dogecoin. I see no reason to think that any other cryptocurrency will be the native token of X besides Dogecoin. And at 7 cents right now, when the all-time high was over 50 cents, I kind of feel like the direction of Dogecoin is directionally up over the next 2 years. NFTs will be caught up in that mix. So what I was thinking about was plowing about 16 Ethereum into 3 floor mutant apes. You think that's a crazy idea, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think of that, right? Because look, in moments like this,
play.
You love it?
I love that play. Like I texted Bunny, I think Saturday, and said I want a mutant. It was like, it's the first time I've ever been like, I might buy a mutant. I've never held a mutant. I've never held an ape. And that was one. Now I'm like, I think I want a mutant. I think I want a mutant. As crazy as it sounds, like we think of flight to quality or whatever the stupid term is, and apes feel like a flight to quality here. You know, I do think there's some other, like I think if anything continues to cycle there, if you're gonna buy 3 mutants, you're at about 15 ETH. I'm torn because do apes get down to 20 and maybe you just grab an ape because obviously like rewards will continue to cycle there. That's my tough debate is like, but then you're also trying to time the bottom, and I just
trying to time the bottom. You're married to an expensive ass single asset, right? It's like one asset. Whereas with a mutant, if you get 3 mutants for 16 ETH, then
you'd have to buy floors though. Like I'm gonna say you have to buy literally the bottom of the barrel
Cheapest
floor
one.
and not think about it. Don't even care about the traits, aesthetics, none of that. You just buy the floor.
I don't care about the traits because the market has proven that the market doesn't give a shit about the traits. And I'm not going to push back against the market. The market's basically taking a sledgehammer to you for the whole bear market. I'm not going to try to like change. I'm not going to say, hey, use this rubber, this pool foam thing or whatever. Use the foam thing. The market's going to use the sledgehammer. Alfalfa over here, I feel like I want to counter trade this take. I feel like this take is something that I want to go the opposite of because the way I'm framing it is 1 year ago, and it's actually really funny that it's exactly 1 year ago, because when we had Raul Paul on this show, he talked about the 1 year lag between the liquid asset class and the illiquid asset class, compared stocks to real estate, identically to crypto and NFTs. And it's really funny that exactly 1 year later is when we're having this conversation, because 1 year ago, Bitcoin was $16,000, Solana was $8, and I don't remember what the low was on ETH, but I was only buying Bitcoin. Because in moments like that, when the whole town is burning, when FTX just blew up, when people are like, crypto's dead, blah, 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 the only thing that I could like plow money into at that point was Bitcoin, because it was my highest. It was like, that's my thing, right? I was not buying Solana at $8. I think I probably started buying Solana at like $15. And so that's the flight to quality right now with no one looking at NFTs. I mean, obviously the Simpsons just did the NFT thing yesterday. I can only buy the highest quality. I'm looking at Yuga Labs. I'm looking at Mutant Apes, because I'm framing this as basically the crypto market it'll just buy assets. And a lot of these assets are grandfathered in. Like Moonbirds could go up in price. Like it doesn't matter what they do, because it doesn't, this market is not about doing things. You know what I mean? You have people literally saying that Yuga Labs is not a business when it's a $100 million venture funded startup funded by the biggest names in the VC world on the tech side. And you have people in the market saying it's not a business. So clearly it doesn't matter what you do. All that matters is that the asset is kind of grandfathered in. So I'm looking at Mutant Apes as something that's just going to go up. If people decide the NFT market's going to go up now and they're just going to buy it to sell it later, and the price is going to go up. So that's what I'm thinking about with Mutant
Theo,
Apes.
why
Yes,
wouldn't you
Sig,
go
please.
to the most liquid asset within it, which is ApeCoin, over a mutant?
I'm looking at it as an NFT thing, Sig. I'm not looking at it as like a crypto play. I'd rather buy more Solana than buy. I just don't know.
I can answer that question. You're
Please.
looking at a token right now that needs to still introduce syncs with still linear unlocks. So early investors, there's still unlocks happening monthly on Ape, which causes downward sell pressure. There's already a fixed supply and a finite supply of mutants and apes with potential future rewards. Other side obviously is really interesting. They've been teasing this clubhouse at the event. They had a clubhouse that people could hang out in, which got people excited, interested, and more. We're still waiting on the one in Miami. Mutants give you access to it. I just lean significantly more on that, because you're going to have to introduce a variety of syncs for ApeCoin to have potential upside. Whereas even now, you can still stake a mutant, not in the US, to earn ApeCoin. So I think that you can still get proxy effect from it versus unlocks, VC value, like vested interest and more from ApeCoin. And if anything, if you're going to hold a token, going to hold Solana.
Yeah, but I don't see Solana as like an alt compared to say ApeCoin. Like I would put ApeCoin in like, am I buying Doge? Am I buying Pepe? Am I buying ApeCoin? Like I'd put it in that category. And it just feels like everything which you said was like a weakness of Ape, Yuga are very much aware of it and will be trying to address these things over the next 12 months. So it just feels like plowing 15 ETH into 3 mutants could probably be broken up over something more liquid and something slightly less illiquid within the Yuga ecosystem, rather than being stuck with 3 mutants, which you potentially can't get out of when you want to get out of it.
Well, with Blur, you can get out of all this stuff at the drop of a hat. You just might not, get the money that you want for it. But Sig, for me to answer your question, it's actually just because I don't understand ApeCoin. And that's not me saying that ApeCoin is not understandable. It's just that I have not done deep research on that fungible token that corresponds to Yuga Labs, that Easy talked about a lot of the future factors that are going to come into play for it. And to be honest, I'm not that interested in learning. And that's not me being disrespectful. I mean, I'm literally talking about buying the NFTs from that organization. So this is not me throwing shade at the organization. This is me saying, I want to buy NFTs, to be ready for the NFT market pump. And those are the ones that I'm looking at. If I didn't look at I would want a CryptoPunk, but I don't have $80,000 worth of Ethereum right now lying around. Unfortunately, I should. I quite frankly should, but I don't. I have closer to I guess $40,000. So I have half that. And I'm not going to change Bitcoin for I don't know. Look, maybe I do buy a CryptoPunk. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway,
real quick on that note, one of the things I'm actually bearish on Yuga on is if they move to Magic Eden and they enforce royalties, how much does that dry up the liquidity on Bored Apes, Mutants, etc., if they have a 5% mandatory royalty on that, given that right now we're seeing most of the volume be on Blur?
Someone got the question. Someone answered Clemente.
I don't think it does. Like that, as crazy as it sounds, like you still look at like a flooring protocol, which is going to still incentivize liquidity and get people excited, as crazy as it may sound. To me, what's going to happen is it's going to force the hand. Like what happens if Blur then enforces royalties and allows them to be traded there once again? That liquidity is going to be a compounding effect. Like I don't think right now Magic Eden's partnership is eliminating potential future for them to go back on Blur. I think it's just forcing the hand, because we saw this on Solana, where we have now enforced royalty at the contract level, and liquidity has honestly stayed relatively stable between 700K to 1.2 million over this extended period of time. It's just that you're not going to see days of 7 to 10% royalties. I think if anything, that's going to end up ultimately dropping down to like 2%, which feels negligible.
And you look at Mochaverse and Captains, both of those have royalties enforced, actually, which is interesting that they've seen the gains despite having 3.5% to 5% royalties. So maybe it's not going to be as much of an impact as I thought.
That's where I think too. And it's like, those are still hyper liquid right now on Blur, despite the enforced royalties. I just think right now, like my big question is and concern, and for Pio here, it's like, I'd almost wait and maybe spend a couple extra ETH or save a few ETH until the Magic Eden Yuga Lab thing drops.
You know what I was thinking about waiting for? I was thinking about just plowing more fiat into ETH right now and making that the primary thing that I'm plowing money into, and wait for an ETH cook, like a real ETH cook, which is inevitable, because think about it like this, ladies and gentlemen. You have two monster events in the next 6 months. You have the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF and you have the Bitcoin halving. These are monster events that are going to make the price of the crypto assets go up in a considerable way. So why wouldn't I plow fiat into the crypto assets, continue to for now, and then wait for them to pump hard, and then wait for the NFTs to not pump as hard, right? Because I just don't. This is where I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I know that I'm right that crypto assets are going to pump over the next 12 to 18 months. I mean, come on. Literally, come on.
Pumps and plows.
But what I don't know, the big question is, if ETH goes on a face melting pump, do NFTs go with it or not? Obviously, my instinct is no.
Well, we don't know. Call me crazy. We don't know. We've seen one NFT cycle. There's no data that can be completely accurate. So far, we have seen in the bull, it run up with ETH. In the bear, it run down against ETH. We don't know what's going to happen here.
I know we don't know. I'm pointing out that we don't know, but I'm saying, like, maybe I'm scarred from the brutality of the last 2.5 years in NFTs. I find it hard to believe that I could buy 16 Ethereum worth of mutant apes right now, and Ethereum goes to north of 3K, and the mutant apes increase in Ethereum value. Like, let's say the mutants pump to 11 ETH each. So my 16 ETH turns into like 33 ETH, and ETH goes up in US dollar prices. That sounds too good to be true. Maybe it is true. But that feels like wishful thinking, versus a gnarly ETH pump. The mutants staying at the same ETH value or going down a little bit, and then plowing the ETH into the mutants. I don't know. That's a good question.
You're seeing this, Pio, your time horizon for a lot of people listening is like 12 to 18 plus months. You're looking to buy mutants right now.
Always. Yeah. I mean, and the elite artist here on YouTube. And by the way, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, on a day after the Simpsons thing where we see the numbers higher than they have been in quite a while, which obviously feels great. Just want to do this quick shout out to everybody that's still just rocking with us and been rocking with us. Shout out to Shrimp. I see Shrimp in the crowd. Shout out to Tanner. Shout out to Bell. Shout out to Jack GK, King Kel. King Kel came through to the event. Key in the crowd came through to the event. Shout out to Mirzda and so many more. I see so many people in there. It's great to see faces that have been around for the whole time, the whole bear market, just rocking with us on a day like this. Anyway, real quick, somebody pointed out on YouTube, they said just buy 16 Ethereum worth of Solana. That's another conversation to have. Are 3 mutant apes going to outperform Solana? In general, I feel like the odds of any NFT outperforming the underlying token when the underlying token hasn't experienced the inevitable face melting pump that's going to come after Bitcoin halving and Bitcoin ETF gets approved over the next 12 to 18 months, it does make it very difficult for me to have NFTs. I've essentially been fire sailing most NFTs that I own now just to get any sort of ETH back, just to have the ETH because I feel more comfortable being in the ETH. These were also NFTs that I'm just giving up on because I'm like, all right, like this is not going up. This is not going up, you know? And keep in mind, I sold a mutant for $25,000 of January this year, 25K. And it basically funded like my meals and transportation for the whole year. Like when you start thinking about the US dollar amounts on these things, like 25 grand, yo, that's a lot of sandwiches, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying, it's like, it's a lot of sandwiches. And how much is a mutant now? It's like, what, 8 grand? So I was right to sell it for 25K. I should have sold it for like $100,000, but whatever. It is what it is. Real quick, we have Jonah on stage. Jonah, we wanted to schedule you to be a panelist on an actual scheduled day on video. This does not count. So if you think that this counts, I'm going to kick you off the stage. And also, is that scheduled? Are you scheduled to be on this show? No, Clemente saying no. Jonah, what the hell's going on, dude? Why is it hard to schedule with you? You're not like Barack Obama. Like, come on, dude. Like, what's going on?
I asked for Wednesday, and he said, I can't do Wednesday. So now I got to figure out what other day I can do.
Well, it seems like you could have done today. You're here right now. I don't think you're over here, you know, getting your eyebrows waxed. So why didn't you just schedule for today?
Because I had a call for like the first 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, God, ladies and gentlemen, God forbid we get 15 to 20 minutes less time with Jonah. The audience would be just chasing us down. It would be an angry mob if Jonah wasn't here. Anyway, Jonah, something compelled you to request to speak right now. What's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to say hi, and also you guys are talking games and game tokens, so I thought I'd join the conversation. It's Token City in our group at this point. It's like everyone was. I can tell you that there was another game that said they're going to probably do a token Q1 next year. The great passes were so funny. I had like 45 of them, and nobody wanted them when I was giving them out. And now people are like, hey, you still got those passes? I'm like, no, they're all gone.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, and by the way, Bitcoin gaming, like I think that's going to potentially be huge next year. I was talking to a founder who's building one, and I was like, wow, this is really impressive.
Yeah, you want to know something that literally nobody is seeing coming? It's that. And people in the crowd right now are like, what is this guy on drugs? No, like they're building games on Bitcoin right now, and you have no idea. And guess what? People that own Bitcoin, not only did they not have any idea, when they find out, they're going to be super pissed about it. They're going to be super pissed about it because they're basically like, Bitcoin is money only. And that's like being mad about your iPhone also having a GPS. It's like, it's supposed to just be a phone. It's like, well, guess what? They made it so good it can do other things too. I don't know what to tell you. You can get mad about it. It's going to actually make the price of Bitcoin go up. So literally just chill out.
So I have another thesis here, because based on all the games I've seen, or at least one in particular, where I'm like, wow, that's a very expensive game to make on Bitcoin. When I was talking to them, they were telling me, and I can say who it is. It's DareWise. They're owned by Animoca Brands. So Animoca Brands has invested millions of dollars into making Bitcoin games. The first one from this group will come out around Q3, Q4 next year. The team that's doing this is the same team that did Assassin's Creed or several other.
Hold on, time out, Jonah. I'm not trying to be rude here. This is what we wanted on Jonah Day, on the day that you refused to book.
There's like a ton of other things. I'm just talking about this one thing.
I know, but we were talking about different
Jonah,
stuff.
I'm going to move on from this and make you come on to discuss this game on Jonah Day, because I have a serious question for you. A dead serious question. I saw a tweet yesterday from you. You sold your CryptoPunk. That caught me off guard. I did not know you owned a CryptoPunk.
Same.
Did you make money on it?
Yeah, I made money. I also just don't talk about my trades in public, but I trade.
Jonah,
Okay.
well, Jonah, what was it? What was it that, like, obviously we've had the news about the social media manager, but was that really the straw that broke the camel's back?
No.
Sell the punk?
So people get confused. Like, if people really read it instead of like reacted to it, they would realize, like, the first line says, it literally says that in the first line, I had sold my punk last week. Like, it fucking says it in there. So all I said in the post was, I am thankful I sold it last week, because if I had seen this week, I would have considered selling. But I mean, I sold anyway. So it's not that I don't believe in CryptoPunks, by the way. Like, I think they're great. I just don't believe in them as long as they're owned by Yuga, is what I don't believe in.
Got it. Well, Jonah, we are excited for Jonah Day. Please make it easier to book time with you. We literally sent you a Calendly link. Ladies and gentlemen in the crowd, play ball. If people invite you to the show and you say you're going to come, book the time. We're excited for Jonah Day, but we are going to continue on the kind of broader. We're going to continue on the broader NFT stuff. So we were talking about Clemente. Please go ahead.
I wanted to ask Easy what he thought about. I was so thrown off about Cryptodes and Doodles pumping over the weekend.
Are the future of France, dude. I'm
Well,
telling
no,
you right now.
Be honest. So
I'm dead serious. This is no joke. Cryptodes are going to keep pumping.
Yeah.
And dude, so at Breakpoint, someone came up to me and was like, hey, I know you traded, I've never had a chance to talk to you. I like ETH just purely because the gains are larger and I'm comfortable trading some things. What are you looking at? I'm looking at a Cryptode. And I asked the guy, I was like, why? He's like, because if you get this provenance thing that people always love to talk about, I don't see how Cryptodes don't get grouped into that bunch. There's something about them that people just inherently love. And now I sat there and thought about it for a minute, didn't even respond to the guy. I was like, I think you're spot on with this trade. At the time, they were 0.7. They're now over an ETH. So right now, the other thing we're seeing is, for whatever reason, Cryptodes have become the de facto interest of people on SocialFi. When you have a Cryptode PFP, people get hyped about it. And they're like, oh, this person SocialFies. They 3-3. They do all this stuff. And for some reason, Cryptodes are just now this like social figure. I don't think they're going to have like punks like provenance, but I do think Cryptodes are going to be one of those things that people look at and they're like, damn, dude, I wish I owned a toad. If you remember our reaction when we saw Nick's toad, we were all like, that's dope. That's sick. It just has this thing. And Gremplin does this, something about it, man. Despite them being CCO, it's cool to own a toad. And there's something about that.
Is it the toads or is it the artist? Because then if it's the artist, that opens up a whole other plethora of collections.
I think it's both, because you see a Cryptode PFP and you're like, that's just fun. This guy's a little frog. This girl's a little frog on Twitter. This is fun. And yet then you look at it and you're like, damn, that little frog is worth 20 G's in the bull run. That's kind of badass that this little pixel frog is worth crazy money. And when you look at a toad, for some reason, you're just like, it gives you this emotion, and it's like an emotion evoking thing without any utility. It's just vibes. And they were the first vibes thing where people would literally go in the chat and just type vibe. And that was it. Something about it has this effect. I think Doodles are pumping because Poopy tweeted, we're taking big swings. I can't say I'm not nervous to be doing this, but Doodles have had good partnerships, man. Despite them saying they're not an NFT project, they got some plugs that are giving them some layups for good partnerships. And we're seeing more interest on the business standpoint where they opened up that store. People seem to really like it on opening night. Camp, I believe, is the store. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that was the one that got people really excited. And I've only heard good things about Camp. I've never been to one, but the people that I still talk to that are in like clothing and collectibles, they like the store. So I think that's a really good plug. But dude, there's a lot of things that even I'm looking at now where I'm like, there's some plays that could be made even now. Like, that's where I'm like, there's some stuff here that's got me interested. I was looking at Creeps yesterday. That's one up 22% on the day. Everyone talks about the gaming narrative and the run on games. They have a token. They launched one of the most successful Ponzi-like games in the peak bull run, and their team keeps shipping stuff. Like Overworld and everything else that they're working on. I'm like, this seems interesting to me. That's one I'm watching that has a really strong community. Topia Worlds, which is Hytopia, the former NFT Worlds. Dude, their sign up for the game has over 1 million signups for early alpha. Like, that's insane. And that team didn't just vanish when Minecraft shot them in the leg and said, you got to stop with Minecraft for this. They just built their own version of Minecraft and just announced a raise recently. There's a lot of stuff right now. Like, if you weed through some of the junk and start looking at the teams that never faltered during the bear, and if any and are raising in the bear, which means they're probably raising at a very low valuation purely to get capital to keep working, it seems way more interesting to me.
So real quick, couple things, and I want to throw to Bunny in a moment. On the where we're at in the market side, an indicator that you can use is the number of concurrent listeners of this show. We've literally seen this over and over again. At the cycle top, so right around Other Deed, we would get 2,300 concurrent listeners to the show. And I'm not saying that's a flex. I'm pointing out that that number is significantly bigger than today's number. However, today's number is significantly bigger than the average over the last 6 months. I have to think it's because of the Simpsons thing. The question on that is that number going to steadily go down because the aura of the Simpsons episode wears off? Or is it the start of a little bit of a run and the number
start
starts
of something new, P.O.? It is the start. Shout out High School Musical. This is the start of something new.
Well,
okay,
we'll see. These are the questions you have to answer, and you have to make your bets accordingly. On the Cryptodes thing, my question is: do people give a shit about oddities? Do they only want Cryptodes? Does oddities matter? And is Gremlin going to make more art because he likes money? And when people like money, they make more stuff, and it dilutes their old stuff, but they make $10 million, so why do they care?
Oddities won't have an effect, plain and simple. They care about Toads. They care about the community from Toads. They don't care about oddities.
Time out. Breaking news. Hold on real quick. I want to hear that. Breaking news. Someone just swept 8 oddities. This is a bull run indicator. Or excuse me, 8 Cryptodes. This is a bull run indicator. Some Chad in the audience right now is hearing us talk about them, and his instinct, instead of getting like an espresso to feel something, his instinct was to go and buy 8 multi-$1,000 JPEGs. That is an indicator. That was happening the whole bull run. In the bear market, it didn't matter what we were talking about. People weren't going and spending 10 grand on it. So shout out to the Chad that's listening to this show and felt like, yeah, it's a good idea for me to go spend 5 figures on some JPEGs because these 4 schmucks are talking about it. 4 schmucks being me, Easy, Clemente, and Bunny. Signal's not a schmuck.
No, Pierre, sorry, I'm just like connecting some dots here. I feel like your mutant play, I will talk about Toads in a second, but your mutant play feels too safe for an illiquid asset, which if it does pump, I don't think you necessarily need to go to the flight to quality. I feel like you can take more risk on, like, if you've got apes, which I think the left side, that's the flight to quality. That's the safest place to be. And then you've got the right side where, Cryptodes is coming towards the middle, and you've just got then, other stuff like Springfield Punks right at the end. Like, I don't see why, if there's a pump, you need to go to this, like, the safest asset when you could take more risk and have more reward by buying something completely different. I think, like, just this conversation of Cryptodes is making me think that the mutants play is way too safe, and you should be taking more risk. It's middle curve. You should take more risk, but maybe dial down the amount to get the bigger reward.
Buy a coda.
Buy a coda.
I'm dead serious. Left curve the shit out of it. Buy a coda. Other side launches. Who's the main character? Codas. Bow.
You're probably right, but anyway, real quick, you're probably right. What I was going to say is, look, this cycle, I want to come out on the other end of the cycle, and I want to have, like, no joke, like $800,000 in profits and still have like 3 Bitcoins. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to still have 3 Bitcoins and $800,000 in profit. So I'm going to be a little bit more risk averse in many ways. I mean, we're talking about buying pixelated JPEGs, so there's only a certain degree of, only a certain degree of careful that you can be. Bunny has his hand raised. Bunny, is this about Gremlin, Toads, and all that?
Nah. Code is a great play. Code is a great play. Dude, these things are the bored apes to the other side. If the other side slaps, they can flip bored apes.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Toads are pumping right now. I mean,
it's the vibes, baby. I'm telling you, it's the vibes. They've been pumping for the last week. But, P.O., I wanted to acknowledge something, too. We talked about the numbers on today's show. Even before Breakpoint and Ape Fest, numbers were slowly trending up. And I think volume is a great indication of it. The market feels more alive right now going into Q4, which is a little surprising. But all in all, like, we're getting a lot of good stuff right now. A lot of positive catalysts. You're getting stuff and people actually delivering things. It feels like the businesses are booming, I will say, which is a first of its kind.
I mean, dude, I posted tweets that got like 100,000 views, not flexing, just pointing out the reach about Yuga being a business, and people were responding like, dude, I mean, the people in this space are different, man, including Bunny. Like Bunny will literally tell you it's not a business. I'm like, okay, go tell the person that's got like an IRA or a 401k at the business, a 401k match, and tell that to the tech VCs that put 100 million plus bucks into it. The space is different, man. We got a different level. We have someone that was at our event that was, shocked about what our payroll is at our business. And I'm going to actually do a follow-up call with him because I want to like kind of walk him through and show him like, check it out. This is like how like an NFT business runs, because I want to show what exactly is going on here. Cause he had like a lot of influencers in the past bull run being like, yo, it's just vibes, baby. It's just vibes. And it's like, well, actually, it's like, $100 million market cap asset. So I think it's a little bit more than just vibes, amigo. Just saying. I mean, people are acting like a crypto pump is just something that you should go like, in response to. And I'm just kind of like, amigo, there's kind of a lot of money flying around right now. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, honestly, I'm at a loss for words right now over this crypto's pump. While we talk about it on the show, I'm at a loss for words. I really am. I can't believe that this is happening right now because it's been so long since this happened. This used to happen all the time. People would literally come on the show and bring up crypto rays.
Oh,
and
that
all of
was
a sudden,
cooked. That was a printer. That was a printer. I gotta say this though before someone tags me in the comments and says you own 65 toads and you pumped your bags. I don't own a single goddamn toad, by the way. I own none of it. I don't own anything by Gremplin. Just to put that out there. That's the one thing, bro. I honestly, dude, it feels good. The market feels alive. I'm not underwater on my captain. I'm still a proud community member, but I'm only down like 0.06 on my entry. That 4.2 entry. Some say it was a 0.2, but we'll get past that. And the other side of it, I made a boatload on meme coin. I was hyped about that. That feels good. And we're starting to see some liquidity injection across the board. Meme token. You obviously have Grape coming up. We got Blur coming up. All these liquidity injections from pretty much outside. Like the meme Binance listing to have millions of dollars backing that token, I think did give some signs of life into the space. People got capital they didn't expect, and now they're happy to spend it.
Easy. I've been dying to ask you because you were away last week. Like, what is your play with captains now?
I'm a proud community member. Shout out Ray. He's the background on my phone.
You delisted?
It's not listed. It's not listed. I delisted it. I delisted it when I saw what I got because I had 2 fire sales that I put both the max in and my captain allocation. So my cost basis right now is like, truthfully, probably like 0.3, 0.4 after what I've already taken off the table.
Of the captains?
So I'm
it's
up
been
almost
that
like,
since the beginning. You
but
were
now it
always
actually
saying
is because
that
I'm taking profit.
Just
I'm actually taking profit. It was 4.2 is the entry. The actual entry, if you ask me another time, I'll tell you it's 0.042. That's besides the point. But I've sold my initial meme coin allocation. I've sold my fire sale allocation. So I feel much better about it now. Where now I'm like, screw it. I still have this vesting token because I had max maps and everything else on my captain, which I was like happy about because I was sitting there like, I may as well do this if I'm going to bag hold it and miss my exit. And now I'm like, okay, I have this 80% token unlock that still has to come from my captain. Let's just see what happens at this point. Because it's like, I'm fairly confident 80% will get me back, at least in the green where it's a negligible cost, with ETH higher at a valuation than it was when I bought the captain. So I'm like, let's see what happens.
What's your take right now on like how captains are valued? Do you think they're underpriced, correctly priced, mispriced? Like, what's your take on where they are now?
That's a really hard question, to be honest, because it's like, it's all tied now to meme coin. It's all tied. If meme coin gets a pump, captains will pump. If meme coin sells off, captains will sell off. Come on, dude, you got something?
I just have one last question because it's the last indicator I will say on like NFT market heating up again is in the comments. We have 63 comments in the show. About 45 of them are just people shilling random ass garbage NFTs. Like, yo, go check this out. You guys don't miss out. Like, go buy it. It's a free mint.
We're so back.
I mean, this is wild. Ladies and gentlemen, I have on my personal computer right now, I have the Cryptodes secondary action pulled up. And the fact that it's pumped while we talked about it, I know I've said it like 5 times, but this is a return to previous times. It's a return to old times here. I can't believe that happened. That is absolutely wild. I have to do a spoiler alert for all the people that bought it during the show. You're going to lose money. So welcome to the space. That's how it works, because the space gets bored in like 2 seconds. The Simpsons thing was last night. Think about it. Even if we're so back, by Friday, people are going to be flooring those cryptodes for 0.98. You lost money if you bought them. I'm just telling you right now. But that's part of this. Part of being in NFTs is losing money. That's what happens. You buy an NFT and the price goes down. Go ahead, Clemente.
So on that note of like, it feels like things are cooking again. I'm not touching these GameFi tokens with a 10-foot pole personally. Like, I'm not going to buy grapes at this price, not buying Mochaverse, etc. One of the things that I thought was interesting was, I'm trying to think what collections have a potential announcement coming up. And hear me out on this, Easy. Do you think D-Gods and Utes are potentially positioned to have a run here if Frank, for example, drops something that's well received? I did buy 2 Utes actually, and I sold one for like a 0.1 ETH gain yesterday.
You're
I was, dude, I'm
This
taking
boy's
swing.
swinging.
I'm buying NFTs right now too, baby. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think you're smoked.
On Utes?
Yeah, I think you may get a negligible run, but I just don't like. You're playing in that range that I would not want to play in right now, which is that 0.7 to 1 ETH range. That's not where I'm looking. Either go bigger, 3 to 5 ETH, or go much smaller, like 0.3 and under. I hate that middle range. Hate it. Because it's the most volatile range, but it's also like, when I say volatile, it goes down 0.3, you're at 0.4, it goes up, you're at 1 ETH. That's a 50% run, but that feels terrible, because if you buy something at 3 ETH and it goes to 6, 7, that feels great, because that's some serious size. You buy something at 0.05 and it goes to 0.4, you just hit an 8x. And that's not like crazy, but you can play multiples of it. So to me, playing in that 0.7 to 1 range is my least favorite range to play in, purely because it's like it's all risk reward based. That's when you see that 3 to 5 ETH range, think of it like Bitcoin. When you see that 0.3 and under range, think of it like Solana. You're playing in the ETH range, baby, and I don't want any part of it. I want no part of it.
Very interesting. I was going to say that I would think that Utes and D-Gods would pump, because again, there's these things going up in price. It's not like Tesla. It's not when it's like, yo, Tesla sold an extra 400,000 Cybertrucks or something. That's not how this stuff works. It's literally like, yeah, that other thing pumped, so I thought I'd buy a Ute, and that thing went up too. So why wouldn't Utes go up over the next 6 months? Why would that be?
It's not a matter of not going up. It's a matter of how much they go up. They 2x here. They're at 1.4.
Yeah.
You made a 0.7 gain. Why not buy 5 things at 0.1 that go to 0.4? And now
it's
you
a
just
lot
made
riskier, dude.
That's like, what exactly. The risk reward is what I'm talking about here. It's either you got to take a bigger swing and play the risk, or you're sitting in this middle ground where you're hoping for a 2x at a 0.7 ETH run. But it's also like right now watching the market, they're not dropping a token. They already have their token and it's been down only, and it's on 3 different chains. So it's like, pick your poison. Do you want to buy dust on Polygon, Solar, or ETH? To me, that's like way riskier than something that hasn't dropped a token yet and has potential reward. And I love Frank. I love D-Gods. I think these things have potential, but it's not where my risk profile is right now. I'd rather take a much harder swing at something lower that has speculative announcements versus something right now where the space acknowledges Frank is great. They're waiting on an announcement, but are these people waiting on an announcement to also sell?
That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel like money moves fast right now, and we're seeing it. What happened with Springfield pumps? Like cryptodes, people were kind of talking about it last week. I saw like in Discord people talking about toads, the price action there. It just feels like I think there are better players. Utes feels a bit too safe, Clemente, for me right now. I think if they do pump, I agree. They pump, but not as much as we're probably going to see with other collections, which perhaps potentially have not pumped for a really long time, and for whatever reason get some kind of announcement or some kind of catalyst event that makes them pump more. I think like you can go riskier right now. You don't have to be in like the safe stuff at the moment.
You guys are wild. Like, you guys are absolutely wild gambling addicts. I did not expect you to say that buying, I'm talking about spending like 28 grand on Mutant Apes, and you guys are like, yeah, it's not a high risk enough move. Like, what? Excuse me? Like, are you serious? Like, well, sorry, I didn't know that you guys
You know,
are just
plow your money into something way riskier, all right? You know, back up the Brinks truck, buy Pepe, and launch an NFT of it right now.
I didn't know that spending 28 grand on 3 internet pictures when it's still technically not a bull market was a low risk play. So I'll let you guys go and spend $30,000 on something yourselves. But yeah, interesting.
I did, and it went to 0. So I'm out.
Is that the moonbird?
My little moonbird. My little moonbird went right down. So yeah, I've done that, and now I learnt my lesson. So yeah, I don't know. I think like when you do those plays and you see that kind of money just go straight down to 0, it kind of makes you like, I'm willing to take risk, but I can take risk in a better way. And that's why I don't go for the big plays anymore. And I'd rather just diversify into like other things, which I think can still pump strongly. But I don't need to be putting 30 grand on the table and going like all in on black and just being like, that's my Hail Mary. And then you just see it go out of bounds. I learned my lesson.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I guess what are you looking at for a low price?
Is this, look, guys, we're gonna have to just do a November picks. I know I won last time. So I feel like we need to do November picks, but can we do it tomorrow? Because I just need a little bit of time to think about it.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, sure. That's fine.
I want to win. I need a little bit of time to think about it.
All right, we're going to do it tomorrow. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap. If it's your first time listening to the show, which it seems like for a lot of y'all it is, and that's fine, and welcome. Thank you for listening to the show. I hope you will stick around, and it's not just a Simpsons pump. We do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, each and every week. Been doing it for 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. That's not an exaggeration. 2 years. Haven't missed a day, a weekday. Haven't missed a Monday through Friday in 2 years. The show is also available on YouTube if you want to see the visual component, see all of our beautiful faces, except for Clemente's. And then if you want to also, I'm messing with you, Clemente. People were saying our videographer looked like Clemente. It was pretty funny. I was like, dude, he's a different gene pool, buddy. Not South American, but okay. Anyway. So the show's available on YouTube for video. We also actually stream the video to X, to Twitter, and I know a lot of folks are sticking on strictly Twitter, so you can see the video there. And it's also available on audio podcasts, Spotify podcasts, Apple podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts. Shows about NFTs and broader crypto and macro stuff. Sometimes we talk about the stock market, we talk about precious metals like gold, and we have guests from varying backgrounds on the show. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow. Thanks so much for listening. Very cool to see that crypto